Like, subscribe and share Tree Fanfiction audiobook channel. Chapter 81. Oh. It's interesting. The green bull looked at the huge sand wave like a tsunami, not only did not show any panic or fear on his face, but instead showed a look of interest. As the admiral of headquarters, such a scene is not enough to move him. Forest wall. The green bull raised his hands lightly, and endless trees and vines suddenly sprang up on the ground, forming a series of tall, impenetrable walls, blocking all the sand out. Ha ha ha! I'm a forest man who ate the logia fruit. Mere gravel, what can I do? The green bull looked up to the sky and laughed, his voice full of disdain. Seeing that the sand sea was blocked, the nervous, restless, and fearful marine soldiers calmed down one after another, and looked at the green bull with eyes full of admiration. As expected of the marine headquarters admiral. So strong. But the laughter on the green cow's face stopped abruptly, and the smug look on his face suddenly froze. Because he saw that the forest wall he created was being corroded little by little, and those trees were slowly withering, and finally dried up, turned into sand, and disappeared when the wind gently blown them. FK. How is this possible? The green bull looked at everything in front of him with an incredulous 230, some couldn't believe their eyes. The trees I made are stronger than steel. At once. So corrupted, right? Desert sword. Swish. A wide, tens of meters wide desert blade suddenly pierced out from the desert under the green bull, reaching his heart. Ah! Little mouse! The spear of the forest. As an admiral of headquarters, Green Bull's two-color haki martial arts is naturally very behind him. Facing this surprise attack by Cloak Doll, he instantly reacted, and his arm instantly turned into a sharp spear with a layer of strong armament. Haki of armament meets Clockadar's desert greatsword. Clang! A piece of wood, a piece of sand, the two sides collided, and there was a crisp sound of metal clashing. It shows that the armament haki of both of them are very deep and hard as steel. Armed Satokagure. At the same time that Green Bull and Lock Doll were confronting each other, dense sand bombs flew from behind their heads like a torrential rain, and each one was covered with dark armament haki, whose power was even more terrifying than bullets. Yeah! There's even a little mouse. Forest wall. The green bull unhurriedly activated the fruit ability to erect a forest wall behind him. Due to its relatively small size, the condensed one is stronger. Bang bang bang! Xiu's projectiles were all blocked by the green bull and deeply embedded in it, but they still failed to penetrate. Wood-style thorn stranding technique. Swish, swish, swish. Huge thorny vines suddenly emerged from the sand under the green cow's feet, climbing towards him, spreading, and strangling away. Hey hey hey! This is a bit of a foul. Obviously I'm the one who ate the logia fruit. The green cow looked at the trees and vines under his feet. Although naval headquarters had information that the ninjas of the Akatsuki Empire had the ability to manipulate various elements, he couldn't help being a little surprised when he saw it with his own eyes. This plant. A person who can absorb human physical strength and haki. It's kind of scary. When the green cow felt these plants climbing on him, his physical strength and haki began to pass away, and finally there was a look of shock on his face. Although he can use photosynthesis to absorb plant energy to act on himself, but he cannot absorb the energy of others. This ability to manipulate plants to absorb other people's strength and haki is even more terrifying than the ability of sensen fruit. Shave. Feeling the power of these trees and vines, the green bull didn't dare to push it too hard, and immediately broke free, jumped to a distance, put away the previous carelessness, and looked full of vigilance. There are many masters in this Alabasta. Are you the new Marine Admiral? And, that's all about strength. Lokdar's figure slowly emerged from the desert, condensed into a human nature, with a cigar in his mouth, looking at the green bull rebelliously, and did not feel afraid because he was Marine Admiral. Today's K-Lok Dar is not what it used to be. No longer go after the illusory ancient weapon, but focus on developing your own fruits and haki. Sand fruit is a Logia devil fruit with a high upper limit, especially in this vast desert. It is his home field, even facing the Admiral of Headquarters, he is not afraid. What's more, there are Sunagakur powerhouses. Especially the village chief Gara, whose ability to use sand makes even a Logia sand fruit capable person feel ashamed. It is simply art. And which princess who was weak in the past has grown to a very terrifying level now? An Admiral of Headquarters, it is absolutely impossible to take down Alabasta. Accompanied by the appearance of Quidar, Gara's figure slowly emerged from the sand, and Vivi's figure jumped out from behind the desert reef. A gust of sand blows by, and Sunagakur's ninja troops slowly appear. The whereabouts of the Green Cow Land has long been known by Vivi. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, Vivi directly removed the guards at the port and put the battlefield in this uninhabited desert. Oh shit! Have you prepared? It seems that my Admiral of Headquarters doesn't seem to have any deterrent effect. Seeing Vivi and his soldiers, Green Bull was full of self-confidence. Facing himself, the Admiral of Headquarters, he had no fear at all, and was even eager to try. This made him very annoyed and felt that he was completely underestimated. Admiral of Headquarters Green Bull, I advise you to leave Alabasta immediately. Otherwise, today you and others will be buried here forever. Vivi pointed to the green cow, her voice reveals a thick haki, with a thick queen fan. Buried here. Ha 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 ha. It looks like I've been underestimated. Little beauty, do you know who I am? I'm the Admiral of Headquarters. The Green Bull was a little annoyed. When did an Admiral of Headquarters become so intimidating? Hate Sensen. In anger, the Green Bull suddenly attacked Vivi. Countless ginseng trees popped out instantly with his arms stretched forward, turning into huge fists, covered with thick armament haki, and hammering at Vivi. He wants to show this little girl who doesn't know the heights of the sky and the earth what is Admiral of Headquarters. However, facing the Green Bull's attack, Vivi showed disdain on her delicate and fair face. Compared with Master Luo Xiu, this level of forest attack is like a firefly in a bright moon. Body flicker technique. Chakra condensed under Vivi's feet, and instantly disappeared in place. Wood-style flower tree world is coming. Vivi's figure reappeared, and the seal was formed, and he slapped his hands on the ground suddenly. With the Green Bull as the center, a huge forest suddenly appeared with a radius of hundreds of meters. Big trees thicker than a person emerged from the ground one after another, and they were violently drawn towards the Green Bull as if they were alive. Here. Seeing Vivi's arrival of such a large area of flowers and trees, the Green Cow was stunned, speechless, and he was speechless for a while. Who ate the sensen fruit? Ahem. My head is a little dizzy. Damn, are those pollen poisonous? The Green Cow suddenly felt dizzy, and only then did he notice the pollen from the blooming flowers at the top of the trees. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu. Armed power fist. Vivi did not give the Green Bull a chance to breathe, and the attacks followed one after another. A wooden giant tens of meters high was summoned by Vivi, waving a fist as big as a small hill, controlling chakra to condense on wooden golem's fist, and covering it with a pitch-black armament haki. Senbai Iron Body. The Green Cow was paralyzed by the pollen toxin, and it was too late to dodge for a while, so it could only use the fruit ability to defend. Boom! The Green Bull's body was hit hard by wooden golem's fist, and there was a huge sound. The whole person flew upside down for tens of meters like a shell fired from the chamber, and smashed dozens of hundreds of towering trees along the way. Stop the shape! Life returned. Ah! It really hurts enough. The Green Cow stood up and used life return to remove the toxins in his body, rubbed his head, and felt his brain buzzing. He never expected that Vivi's strength is so powerful. Humph! In order to be able to defend Alabasta, in order to be able to stand beside Master Luo Xiu, I have been 2.8 these days, so I have not stopped for a moment, and I am practicing relaxedly. Vivi stood on top of the giant wooden golem, looking at the admiral of headquarters who was beaten by him, with a look of relief on his face. These days of hard training are finally not in vain. Although Vivi doesn't think he can beat the admiral of headquarters now, but facing the strong is finally no longer the kind of weak person who has no power to fight back. All of this is thanks to Master Luo Xiu. I admit, you have some strength, but not much. Just now I was careless. Although your ability to control plants and trees is very strong, your haki is too weak, otherwise the blow just now would be enough to cause me some damage. Surrender honestly. The green bull looked at Vivi, and the contempt in his eyes was a little less, but if he wanted to defeat this marine admiral with this strength alone, it was not enough. What? How do you know that this is all my strength? Although my haki cultivation is indeed not strong, do you think Lord Luo Xiu didn't leave me a life-saving card? Besides, this is the desert, home to Mr. Clockkeeter and Gara. It's you who should surrender. Marine Admiral Green Bull. Chapter 82. Vivi's face is full of confidence, and she doesn't care about the words of the Green Bull at all. Perhaps she may not be the opponent of Green Bull, but she will never lose. What a confident little girl, I hope you can always maintain this confidence. Seeing that the persuasion was useless, the Green Bull stopped talking nonsense, took a deep breath, his eyes became extremely serious, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. Armed Sen's gun. Shhhhh. The Green Bull's arms instantly turned into two huge wooden spears, covered with high-level armament haki, and stabbed at Vivi at an extremely fast speed. Wood-style wooden ingot wall. Vivi's observation haki is always paying attention to the Green Bull, and his hands are always ready to seal. The moment the Green Bull launches an attack, Vivi immediately casts the wooden ingot wall, forming a huge and strong shield in front of him. But under the Green Bull's advanced armament haki piercing, failed to defend. Crack! The wooden ingot wall was pierced, but Vivi was nowhere to be seen behind. She controlled wooden golem to jump high, raised her fist, gathered chakra, covered armament haki and smashed the Green Bull's head hard. Armed Fist of Mori. The spear was abandoned by the Green Bull, and countless ancient summer trees grew from both arms in an instant, condensing a fist no less than wooden golem. Boom! Two huge fists collided with each other, and a violent wave of air erupted. Stalemate for a moment. Vivi obviously lacks stamina. Compared with Admiral Green Bull, the headquarters of Marine, Vivi still has a slight gap in hard power. After all, she has only been practicing formally for about 2 years. To be able to compete with the Admiral Green Bull in the Marine headquarters without losing, 07 is already very powerful. But Vivi is not alone on the battlefield. Desert Sword. A huge sharp sand blade came straight towards the Green Bull along the ground. With a click, the whole body of the Green Bull was split in half, or made into 2 pieces of wood, and then quickly healed to form the body of the Green Bull. As a Logia demon fruit power, ordinary physical attacks can't cause any damage to him at all. Just when Lu Niu's body had just recovered from elementalization, the sand on the ground instantly turned into 2 palms and grabbed Lu Sheng's legs. Spear of the Crane Guard. Gara frantically condensed the tail beast chakra into his hand, forming a spear in the shape of a crane's claw, and threw it at the Green Bull, stabbing him in the heart. Its speed is so fast and its power is so strong that it makes the air burst into bursts of unbearable explosions. In the blink of an eye, the crane's spear came to the Green Bull. What a powerful attack! Although armament haki is not deep, it contains an extremely terrifying energy. Must not be hit. The Green Bull looked at the crane spear that was attacking him at high speed. Observation haki was frantically warning, his body immediately turned into an element, and a hole was opened in the flight path of the crane spear to let the crane spear lose as many as it flew. But just when the crane spear passed through half of his body, Gara uttered a word lightly. Burst. Boom! The chakra in the spear of the crane explodes, its power is no less than that of the tailed beast bomb. The body of the green bull was blasted apart, smashed to pieces, and the surrounding marine soldiers were affected one after another, creating a huge crater with a radius of 1 kilometer. Dust all over the sky. The wind is blowing. Everyone subconsciously put their hands in front of them. All soldiers obey orders and attack. Destroy these marines invading Alabasta. Vivi waved her hand, fanned the dust in front of her eyes, and immediately gave the order to the Alabasta soldiers behind to launch an attack. This is an excellent opportunity, and of course she will not let it go. Come on! Destroy marine! Vivi, Dar, and Gara suppressed the admiral of headquarters, and the soldiers of Alabasta naturally increased their morale. They raised their swords and muskets and rushed towards the panicked and terrified people who were bombed. Marine soldiers! Alabasta station is open, and the capital of Seven Waters also welcomes the admiral of headquarters Aokiji. The sea area 100 miles away from the capital of Seven Waters. Terumi Mei, led by Wooden Golem and Frankie, led 10 Dawn Empire warships to form formation here, quietly waiting for the arrival of the naval headquarters fleet. Different from the vast land of Alabasta, the area of the capital of Seven Waters is very small, and there is no place suitable as a battlefield at all. Therefore, after discussions between Terumi Mei, Bing Shan, Frankie, and others, they decided to place the battlefield at sea. Coming! Frankie saw the fleet of naval headquarters through the telescope, and there was a hint of excitement in his voice. During this time, he and Orochimaru have been working on weapons day and night, with very good results, and can't wait to try it out. Allah! It seems that the other party is already prepared. Aokiji stood on the bow of the marine warship, apparently also found the fleet of the Akatsuki Empire. The positions of the two fleets quickly moved in, and when the distance was about 2 kilometers, Frankie immediately ordered to fire. Boom boom boom! 10 warships, hundreds of shells poured out and flew towards the marine fleet. Boom boom boom! The shell exploded, but it was not the traditional explosion, but a variety of powerful ninjutsu. There are flames, lightning, wind blades, and more. Very powerful. Ah! What is this? Why is there a fire dragon? Why are there still thunder beasts? There is even a wind blade. Caught off guard, the marine fleet made a mess, and the marine soldiers on it let out panic, horror, and inconceivable exclamations. Allah! It seems that the Akatsuki Empire has researched something amazing. Aokiji originally had a somewhat lazy expression, but after seeing these cannonballs capable of exploding ninjutsu, his expression became a little more dignified. The power of this special shell is many times stronger than that of ordinary shells, even ordinary naval headquarters vice admiral will be injured if caught off guard. Super! The combination of cannonballs and ninjutsu is simply an epoch-making research invention. Seeing the power of ninjutsu shells, Frankie was so excited that he couldn't help himself. These inventions all have their own share. Ninjutsu unit, move! Taking advantage of the panic of the marine fleet during this round of bombardment, Terumi Mei immediately ordered the ninja troops to start action. After listening to the order, hundreds of ninjas immediately jumped into the water from the boat and dived into the marine fleet from the bottom of the sea. As the ninja army approaches the marine fleet, perform water-style ninjutsu at the same time. The sea has a natural blessing to water-style, and its power is very powerful. Clatter! A tsunami of hundreds of meters was set off around the marine fleet. Tsunami! What happened? Why did a tsunami suddenly appear? Marine on the fleet looked at the sudden tsunami, flustered and at a loss. Those people! Is it so powerful to perform ninjutsu in the sea? Ordinary marines don't know what's going on, but Aokiji, who is admiral of headquarters, perceives it clearly with observation haki. He sensed that around the marine fleet, there was a team of hundreds of people below the surface of the sea, fully performing the so-called water-style ninjutsu of the Empire of Time in the sea. What surprised him was that these people's strength was not too strong, but their power was not weak at all. Before he had time to think about it, Aokiji jumped into the air, and the cold air in his hands exploded, forming two icicles extending towards the surrounding tsunami, freezing the tsunami coming from all directions. But right now, a purple-black energy ball the size of a basketball cut through the air and rushed towards Aokiji. The energy contained in it made Aokiji's face change in horror, and before he had time to think about it, he immediately turned it into an element. Boom! Aokiji's body was instantly shattered by the tailed beast bomb, turning into ice shards scattered in the sky, and the tsunami in all directions did not have time to freeze. Clatter! The huge tsunami drowned all 10 ships of the marine fleet and buried them in the sea. 353 Help! Save! Gyulu! Life! Many marines struggled in the turbulent waters, and most of them sank to the bottom of the sea with huge tsunamis, and were washed in all directions, narrowly dying. With a little luck, you can catch some marine wrecks and survive. Master Terumi Mei, won't Marine Admiral fall into the water and be drowned? Wooden Golem asked suspiciously, looking at the turbulent sea. Will not. Don't underestimate the Admiral of Headquarters. Although it is very easy to see the leader playing Marine Admiral every time, it gives us a feeling that Marine Admiral is weak, but that is only to compare the strength of the leader. Terumi Mei shook her head lightly. She didn't think that Marine Admiral would be killed so easily. As predicted. As soon as Terumi Mei's voice fell, the originally rough sea began to freeze, and the ice spread in all directions. The sea surface with a radius of tens of kilometers was completely frozen, forming a small Iceland. Some marines that fell into the sea were also lifted up by the ice. A figure made of ice slowly condensed on the ice field, and finally turned into the appearance of Aokiji, but at this time, a stream of blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, he was just dealt some serious damage by the wooden golem's tailed beast bomb. After all, the tailed beast bomb is a berserk energy attack, not a physical attack, and even Aokiji elementalization is not completely immune. Allah! You really can't be careless at all. Aokiji wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and looked in the direction of wooden golem. His expression was serious and dignified. Unexpectedly, when Luo Xiu led the fleet to attack Wano Kuni, such a strong man was still left in the capital of Seven Waters. Did you guess it? Aokiji was slightly surprised by the presence of wooden golem. Logically speaking, a powerhouse of this level should be taken by Luo Xiu to attack Wano Kuni. After all, Beast's pirates and the Big Mom pirates are not in the minority. If he really guessed it, then this man's wisdom is too terrifying. Chapter 83. Attack. Terumi Mei waved her plain hand and ordered loudly to the soldiers under her command. Now that the Marine Admiral on the opposite side is injured, the Marine fleet has been hit, and morale is low. It is really the best time to attack. Super! Come on! Frankie jumped off the ship first and led the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire to rush towards the remaining marine soldiers. Frankie ninjutsu missile fire dragon flame. While running, Frankie opened his arms and sent a missile towards the marine soldiers on the opposite side. The principle of this missile is the same as that of the ninjutsu shells launched by the warships of the Akatsuki Empire. They are both technologies that combine ninjutsu and cannonballs. Frankie installed them on his body. Boom! A fire dragon approaching more than 10 meters exploded in an instant, swallowing a dozen or so marines around it, and the ice sheet on the ground melted into a big pit. Frankie ninjutsu missile thunder leopard. Frankie saw the effect of the power of the ninjutsu missiles, and immediately fired at the soldiers again. Boom! The shells exploded, and a leopard made of violent thunder and lightning rushed fiercely at the surrounding marines, causing them to scream and howl. Ha ha ha! Super! False marines, all fall under Frankie's ninjutsu missiles. Frankie laughed wildly. One after another missiles were thrown towards the marine camp as if they were free, blowing up those marines who had just been rescued by Aokiji to their backs. "Allah Allah! You can't let you bomb us so recklessly. Ice Cube Razor Pheasant." Aokiji saw the unscrupulous and merciless bombardment of his marine soldiers, immediately stretched out his arms, and the cold air burst out, condensing a huge flying bird, rushing towards Frankie with incomparably cold air. Lava Style Solving Monster Technique. A shot of lava style stopped Aokiji's pheasant, and the sulfuric acid-like slime corroded and melted all the birds. "Marine Admiral, your opponent is us." Terumi Mei stood side by side with Wooden Golem, blocking in front of Aokiji, and Wooden Golem put a scarlet chakra coat on Terumi Mei, ready to fight Aokiji for a long time. Having been summoned to this world by Luo Xiu for such a long time, they all know the strength of Marine Admiral, not only the powerful strength but also the long physical strength. If you encounter an overwhelming enemy, Marine Admiral will not be a problem if you fight for a few days and nights. Ordinary cage-level powerhouses may be able to match Admiral of Headquarters even for a short period of time, but they are not comparable in terms of endurance and long-lasting combatability. However, under the blessing of a tailed beast, there is no need to worry at all. Tail beast's chakra is almost endless for them. Can be made. It's not a problem to stick to it for a few days and nights. What a hassle! It seems that if you want to win the Land of Seven Waters, you must first defeat WN. Aokiji set his sights on Terumi Mei and Wooden Golem, knowing in his heart that it would be impossible not to beat them both. Ice Ball. Aokiji waved his hands suddenly, and several ice balls made of condensed cold air flew towards Terumi Mei and Wooden Golem like bullets. The cold air contained in them condensed the water droplets in the air where they passed. Boiling Shield Skillful Mist Technique. The moment Terumi Mei attacked Aokiji, he formed seals immediately, Guazi's cheeks bulged slightly, and a burst of high temperature and corrosive steam spewed out from Terumi Mei's mouth, covering and melting the ice ball released by Aokiji. When Terumi Mei faced Aokiji's attack, Wooden Golem immediately transformed into a half-tailed beast, and the whole person was wrapped in the scarlet-tailed beast chakra, and two long tails protruded from behind chakra's claws with both hands. Half-tail beastization armed cat's claw combo. Almost in the blink of an eye, Wooden Golem came to Aokiji's side, and his sharp claws grabbed his neck. Crack! Half of Aokiji's neck was caught by Wooden Golem, but instead of showing blood, it turned into ice. Oh! Elementation is a real hassle. Seeing that the blow didn't work, Wooden Golem immediately distanced himself, not giving Aokiji a chance to fight back. The other half Terumi Mei's next ninjutsu has arrived. Water Style Water Dragon Bomb. By Wooden Golem. Terumi Mei shouted loudly, and Wooden Golem immediately comprehended, his hands immediately formed seals, and thunder element chakra spewed out from his mouth, forming a giant brontosaurus. Lightning Style Thunder Dragon Bullet. The two ninjutsu collided in the air, combined, and fused together to become a lightning water dragon bomb, which is even more powerful. Shave. Aokiji's figure flashed, and immediately disappeared in place. If it was just a water dragon, he would naturally not be afraid, but it would be different if he added a thunderbolt. The water borrows the power of the thunder, and the thunder assists the power of the water, which will inevitably cause a lot of damage to oneself. Boom! The moment Aokiji had just left, the ice under his feet was blasted into a huge deep pit by the lightning water dragon bomb, and the sea water under the ice sheet was faintly visible, sending out thunderous noises. Ice Cube 2 Thorny Spear. Aokiji's figure appeared in the distance, and 8 ice spears condensed behind him, 4 flying towards Terumi Mei, and 4 flying towards Wooden Golem. Lava Style Solving Monster Technique. Fire Rat Jade. Chi Chi. Boom. The attacks of the three collided in the air, a burst of steaming heat came out, and a violent explosion occurred. With the battle of Aokiji, Terumi Mei, and Wooden Golem, the battlefield in the capital of Seven Waters has also entered a feverish state. Another place, the town of Rog. The marine general responsible for attacking Rogtown is Smoker. Compared with Alabasta on the Grand Line and the capital of Seven Waters, the military strength of Rogtown is relatively weak, so only Smoker was sent to the battle. Although the town of Rog is located in East Blue, Luo Xiu didn't take precautions just because the place was weak. The person in charge of guarding here is Hitaki Kakashi, who is known as 50 to 50 in the ninja world. Can't beat anyone, can't beat anyone. Anyway, this guy is also Zengjin's 6th Hokage, and it's more than enough to let him guard an island. Grand Line, exit Com Belt. Kakashi led 10 warships to wait here. According to the intelligence of the Akatsuki Empire, Smoker will lead the marine fleet to pass through the Com Belt and then attack the town of Rog. As a ninja, many of his soldiers are also ninjas. For those who can tread water, it is very beneficial to fight on the sea. On the other hand, Smoker, the leader of the opponent, has the ability of Devil Fruit, and sea water is his nemesis. Coming! Water-style ninja ready! Kakashi saw Smoker leading the fleet through the telescope, and immediately ordered his water-style ninjas to dive into the seabed. Fighting on the sea is so beneficial for water-style ninjas. Almost every fleet of the Akatsuki Empire will be equipped with hundreds of water-style ninjas. A wave of tsunami will wash your face before going to war. Clatter. Smoker just came out from the Com Belt. Not long after driving, the surrounding sea suddenly rolled up with huge waves, forming a huge tsunami. Tsunami! How could there be a tsunami? Smoker exclaimed aloud, with a confused look on his face, not knowing why. This is East Blue, basically the sea is calm, not as harsh as the New World Sea area, where there are stormy waves anytime, anywhere. What happened? Smoker Vice Admiral, what should I do? Standing by the side, Tashiji, a girl with glasses, was about to cry when she saw the tsunami coming. Hateful! Smoker slapped his hands on the rafter suddenly, looking anxious. What should he do? What can he do? He is not Aokiji, who can freeze the sea, nor is Whitebeard, who can shake back tsunamis. He is just a person with the ability to smoke fruits. What can he do in the face of this huge tsunami? Bombardment! Bombard the tsunami! Smoker had no choice but to order the marine fleet to bombard the tsunami in an attempt to stop the tsunami from coming. But it doesn't work at all. In the face of the power of the sea, the power of shells is so pitiful, weak, and helpless. Under the horrified eyes of Smoker, Tashiji and many marines, the tsunami crashed down, slapped on many marine warships, and instantly submerged them. Emergency moment. Smoker turned into smoke, only had time to roll up Tashiji and several marines around him and flew into the air, narrowly avoiding the attack of the tsunami. Armed kunao raikiri. When Smoker ascended into the air, a kunao covered with armament haki carried violent and swift thunder and lightning pierced the air and struck Smoker. Smoker tilted his head away, and kunao flew past his cheek, drawing a long and narrow wound, which made half of his face feel very numb. Hateful! Smoker cursed angrily, feeling very aggrieved. He used his feet to spray smoke, kept flying in the air, and carried a group of marines with his hands to prevent them from falling. He couldn't fight back at this moment. Only now did he feel the sea's malice towards demon fruit power. Smoker Vice Admiral, you can put us down now, it's okay, we are not demon fruit power, we can swim. Tashiji saw Smoker's predicament, adjusted his red-rimmed glasses, and said loudly to him. No way, be careful yourself. In desperation, Smoker threw Tashiji and others into the sea, and the smoke from both feet shot out suddenly, rushing straight to Kakashi. White Snake! During the flight, Smoker's fists covered armament haki, and his arms turned into white smoke and sprayed towards Kakashi, like two ferocious white giant snakes. Water-style Water Dragon Bomb! Facing Smoker's attack, Kakashi quickly formed seals with both hands, and two water dragons more than 10 meters long jumped out of the sea and rushed towards Smoker. Seeing this, Smoker's pupils shrank suddenly, and he quickly turned around in the air to avoid the attack of these two water dragons. This is sea water. If you are hit and cannot use the fruit ability, it will be over if you fall into the sea. Chapter 84. White Smoke Launcher. Smoker dodged Kakashi's water dragon bomb, his legs were like rocket injectors, and his power shot up, and his whole body quickly approached Kakashi at an incredible speed. Armed Jet White Fist. With the strength of a rapid dive from high altitude, Smoker covered his fist with a layer of armament haki, and hammered Kakashi's head hard. Under the double observation of observation haki and Sharingan, Smoker's attack trajectory was clearly seen by Kakashi. Chakra surged at the soles of his feet, and Kakashi's figure disappeared instantly. Crack! Smoker's fist slammed heavily on the deck of the warship of the Akatsuki Empire, smashing a huge hole in the deck. Rinnegan. When Smoker's fist hit the deck of the warship, Kakashi's figure appeared on his right side, dragging a highly compressed and condensed energy bomb from chakra on his right hand and hitting his back. Oops! Elementalization! Smoker's pupils shrank, and he screamed inwardly. It was too late to avoid this situation, and he could only elementalize his body. Boom! The Rinnegan in Kakashi's hand exploded the moment it hit Smoker, blasting Smoker's entire body into a cloud of smoke, scattered and drifting, unable to heal for a long time. After several breaths, Smoker's figure slowly condensed on the bow of the ship, blood overflowing from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, Kakashi's Rinnegan made Smoker very uncomfortable. Mr. Marine, you are not my opponent, surrender. And I once said, Mr. Smoker, you are a person with a relatively strong sense of justice. Come join the Dawn Empire and practice real justice, instead of defending the justice of the so-called stupid pigs of the Celestial Dragons. Kakashi did not take advantage of the victory to pursue, but began to persuade Smoker to get up. Hateful! What are those stupid pigs from the Celestial Dragons doing to me? I only follow the justice in my heart. 653 White Fist. Naturally, Smoker will not be persuaded to surrender easily, even though he hates Celestial Dragons very much in his heart, but he still has his own persistence in his heart. Whoosh whoosh number. Under the control of the smoke, the two fists hit Kakashi crazily, but under Kakashi's Sharingan, they were all invisible and he easily dodged. Suddenly, there was a burst of lightning from Kakashi's right hand, and there was a chirping sound like 1,000 birds singing together. Lightning-style Chidori. Chakra exploded on the soles of his feet, making Kakashi as fast as a phantom, and he came to Smoker's side almost in the blink of an eye, and his right hand, which was shining with lightning, cut Smoker's body like a sharp sword. So fast! Kakashi's speed stunned Smoker, his body quickly turned around to avoid it, but he was still a step too slow, and was hit in the abdomen. Kakashi's lightning-wrapped palm was covered with a layer of jet-black armament haki, leaving a trail on Smoker's abdomen-long wound. By Mo. Regardless of the pain of the wound, Smoker's hands turned into smoke and rolled towards Kakashi, trapping him. Armed Jet White Fist. Seeing that Kakashi was trapped, Smoker's face suddenly showed a look of joy, his legs immediately turned into white-eyed jets, his right fist covered armament haki raised high, and hammered Kakashi's head hard. Boom! Smoker's fist hit Kakashi's head hard, blowing his entire head, but the expression on Smoker's face did not reveal a trace of joy. Because the Kakashi in front of his eyes turned into a log. Damn! Is it body replacement technique? Over the years, the world government has done a lot of investigation and collection of information about the Akatsuki Empire, and they still have some understanding of the unique ninjutsu of the Akatsuki Empire. A hog, where? Seeing Kakashi in front of him turned into a log, Smoker immediately opened the observation haki, searching for Kakashi. Before he found Kakashi's voice, the surrounding sea surged up instantly, turning into a wave more than 10 meters high and rushing towards him. Water-style Great Waterfall Technique. Damn it! It's sea water again. Smoker cursed angrily, his body turned into white smoke and quickly retreated, leaving the area covered by sea water, and landed on the mast of the warship. His eyes fell on Kakashi and he felt a heavy pressure. The fleet was gone, all the soldiers under his command fell into the water, and he was the only one who could fight, and the opponent had thousands of elite soldiers except for one Kakashi. This battle, there is little hope. At the same time, on the Wano Kuni battlefield, all the members have handed in their hands, and the war has entered a fierce stage. Drink! Fire Dragon Torch! Hearing a shout of anger spread throughout the battlefield, Kaido spewed out endless flames to form a huge fire dragon that merged with himself, and rushed towards Luo Xiu with blazing heat. Wherever it goes, everything melts. Even those pirates who had no time to escape were melted. As the heat wave hit his face, Luo Xiu felt that the air he breathed into his lungs was hot, and then his eyes froze, and the pupils changed rapidly, turning into a scarlet Sharingan. A purple 1,000-meter giant rose from the ground, raising his fists high. Armed Power Fist! Boom! Suzanu's fist smashed hard on Kaido's head, and his hundreds of meters long body instantly flew backwards and hit a mountain, causing the whole island to tremble. Hateful! Shanglong Flame 8 trigrams. Kaido's skin was rough and fleshy, and after being punched by Suzanu, he just felt slightly dazed, shook his head, wrapped Conqueror's haki around the dragon's horn, and rushed towards Luo Xiu again. This time, the power is even stronger. However, Luo Xiu has no fear at all. Conqueror's entangling strange power fist. For Kaido's attack, Luo Xiu also responded with Conqueror's entanglement. Boom! The attacks of the two collided, and there was an invisible energy between Suzanu's fist and Kaido's dragon horn, bursting out violent waves of air. The ground is cracked. Countless boulders were blown away. Smash the surrounding pirates to spit blood. Even some weak pirates died suddenly on the spot. Although it is only the aftermath, it is not something that casual people can bear. Emperor Sword, Flame Breaker. On the other side, Charlotte Linlin is stepping on Thursday, the Emperor's sword Napoleon and the sun Prometheus in her hand merged into one, turning into a fiery man of flames, ruthlessly facing Luo Xiu on the head of Susanoo. Chop it down. Amaterasu God Flame Slash. Facing Charlotte Linlin's attack, Luo Xiu snorted coldly, controlled the two arms behind Susanoo and pulled out the 400-meter-long sword at his waist, covering it with black Amaterasu flames to meet Charlotte Linlin. Clang _. Two swords wrapped in flames collided with each other, making a loud noise. With Kaido on one side and Charlotte Linlin on the other, Luo Xiu is not at a loss in the face of the double emperor's attack. I don't know how many pirates around me were dumbfounded by this scene. So strong. This man is really strong. Worthy of the man who can destroy naval headquarters. Even in the face of the attacks of the four emperors, they are still able to do a job with ease, and they will not lose the wind at all. Suddenly, a painful, ear-piercing scream made everyone on the battlefield tremble. Their bodies were a little hairy, and they couldn't help but look in the direction of the sound. Ah! Hot hot! Mom! It's hot! It's hot! I feel like I'm going to burn. Prometheus attached to the Emperor's sword Napoleon kept struggling and screaming, and the original golden flame was wrapped in black flame, swallowing it step by step. Hiss! At this scene, everyone present couldn't help but gasp, especially the members of the Charlotte family, who looked horrified and full of disbelief. Prometheus shouting hot? What are you kidding? It itself represents the sun and has an extremely hot temperature. It has always been the only one that makes others feel hot. How could it be possible for others to make him feel hot? Prometheus. Charlotte Linlin was also a little surprised, and quickly backed away, but the flame on the Emperor's sword Napoleon had gradually turned black, making Napoleon feel threatened. Mother, mother, let Prometheus leave me, this black flame is too horrible, it is almost burning me. Emperor Sword Napoleon begged Charlotte Linlin in horror. Prometheus, leave Napoleon quickly. Charlotte Linlin also felt the terrifying power of the black flame, and quickly threw Prometheus away. Prometheus left Napoleon's sword body and turned into a fireball again, but there was always a layer of black flame wrapped around its body surface. No matter how much it shook it couldn't get rid of it. The body is being burned and shrunk at a speed visible to the naked eye. Mom, help me, Mom! Ah! I'm about to burn to death. When the people around heard Prometheus cry for help, they felt very strange. Prometheus, which was made of flames, was about to be burned to death. Charlotte Linlin frowned as she looked at Prometheus wrapped in Amaterasu's black flame, not knowing what to do for a while. I can't help it, Prometheus, since you are going to die, go farther away. The helpless Charlotte Linlin waved her hand in disgust at Prometheus who was about to die, without any mercy. Whether it is Prometheus, Zeus, or Napoleon, they are just tools created by her using the soul fruit. Gone? Then create another one. What? Mother? No. Don't. Help me. I don't want to die. Prometheus was stunned when he heard Charlotte Linlin's ruthless words. He never expected Charlotte Linlin to be so ruthless. Do not come near me. Or take your soul now. Charlotte Linlin looked at Prometheus who wanted to get close to her, and directly said indifferently. Prometheus was frightened at once, and he didn't dare to move forward anymore, looking so weak, helpless, and pitiful. In the end, it was swallowed by the flames of Amaterasu with a screaming sound. Gulu! This scene made everyone swallow hard, and sweat dripped down their foreheads. This flame! Just don't be too scary. Chapter 85. Hey! Where are you looking? Katakuri was looking at the burnt Prometheus in shock, when a sound came from his ear, but faster than the sound was a flash of lightning. Stab! The lightning came in front of him and bombarded him, and the sound was heard only after that. Laugh! Katakuri's chest was suddenly blasted with a hideous and terrifying wound by the violent lightning, exuding a burnt smell, and the severe pain caused cold sweat to break out on his forehead. Damn it! Careless! Katakuri's face was full of remorse. It's a big taboo to be distracted in battle, especially when facing a strong man who is no less than him. The body turned into a rice cake to temporarily seal the wound. Katakuri's figure suddenly rose up, his right leg turned into a rice cake and divided into countless legs, covered with black armament haki and kicked towards Anilu. Armed lightning thorn. Enel's body turned into a bolt of lightning to avoid Katakuri's attack, and came to Katakuri's side. The golden trident in his hand was covered with a thick layer of armament haki, entwined with violent lightning, and stabbed at Katakuri's head. Today's Enel has come a long way since he was on Sky Island. Armament haki has already had some heat, and observation haki has been cultivated to the point where he can foresee the future for a short time. Even Katakuri, the second in command of the Big Mom pirates, is not at a disadvantage, and can even be suppressed. When Enel cultivates armament haki to a higher level of emission, and his physique improves, he will completely become a general-level combat power. Glutinous ball stabbing. Katakuri's observation haki had foreseen Enel's attack. His right arm turned into a rice cake, covered with armament haki. The trident hidden on his right arm spun rapidly and collided with Enel's trident. Clang! Stab! Weapons collide, lightning strikes. The rice cake on Katakuri's arm gradually became soft under the constant electric shock from Enel's lightning. Although Katakuri is very talented and has developed an ordinary mochi fruit to such a level, there is still some gap in essence compared to Logia's most powerful thunder fruit. If it weren't for Katakuri's armament haki being stronger than Enel, he wouldn't even be qualified to fight Enel head-on. Aware of the change in the rice cake on his right arm, Katakuri knew that if the stalemate persisted, he must be the one who would suffer, so he took the initiative to withdraw to distance himself from Enel. But Enel took advantage of the situation and directly waved the golden trident to bully him. Jingle jingle! Ping pong pong _. The weapons of the two are tridents, and they collide continuously, making crisp sounds, like forging iron, bursting out countless sparks. The battle is fierce. Boom! The mountain shook for a while, making countless pirates unstable and fell to the ground. Kaido's huge dragon body was once again blown away by Luo Xiu's punch, collapsing several mountain peaks in a row. My Lord Governor! Is this man really so strong? The four emperors together are no match for him. Yin, who was flying in the air, looked at Kaido flying past in front of him, and let out an inconceivable exclamation. The two emperors teamed up, but they were defeated. Although he knew that the man was very powerful, he never expected to be so powerful. He. The power of His Majesty the Emperor is beyond your imagination. Not to mention Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the four emperors, even if Whitebeard and Red Hair are added, they will not be the leader's opponent. Jin, let's see how strong you are. Surrender obediently. Don't your Lunalia clan have enmity with the world government? Follow our emperor, one day you will be able to return to the Red Line and kill all your enemies. Moria looked at the godlike Susanoo, her gaze was full of fanaticism, she had blind worship and trust in Luo Xiu, and directly threatened to make Yin surrender. Humph! Crazy guy! Double emperors in the blade. Yin naturally couldn't surrender, and Moria's arrogance made him feel very uncomfortable. With a wave of his wings, the flames on his back immediately sent out countless fireballs towards Moria. Boom boom boom! The fireball fell to the ground, sending out bursts of violent explosions, covering Moria's entire body. Cage Warrior! Moria swapped her body with her own shadow, avoiding Yin's attack, and then the shadow stretched suddenly, stabbing Yin in the sky. Shadow Horn Gun! Facing Moria's attack, Yin waved his wings, dodged Moria's blow, and then raised the long knife in his hand. The flame behind him burst out suddenly, covering the long knife, exuding blazing heat. Guardian Fire Dragon Emperor! A huge mighty fire dragon exuding blazing heat rushes towards Moria hidden in the shadow on the ground, the scorching heat distorts the air along the way. Boom! The ground where Moria was located was instantly blasted into a huge crater with a diameter of hundreds of meters. However, Moria's figure is no longer in place at this time. While Yin was attacking Moria, Moria sneaked on the ground through the shadow, came to Yin's shadow projected on the ground, and grabbed his neck. Shadow Control Strangulation Technique. Moria slammed down on Yin's shadow's neck, trying to break his neck through the shadow. Crack! In the air, Jin suddenly felt that his neck was twisted violently, and there was a crisp sound, and there was a burst of severe pain. Mo. Leah. Yin opened his mouth with some difficulty, his voice was full of anger, he felt as if his body was bound. Emperor Yan. Yin's body couldn't move, but the flames behind him could still control freely, condensed a huge fireball, and smashed down towards the shadow on the ground. Boom! When the fireball hit the ground, a deep pit was instantly blasted out on the ground, and the soil was burnt black, with steaming white smoke. After regaining control of his body, Yin immediately adjusted his position with a vigilant look and serious eyes. Observation Haki always pays attention to his own shadow to prevent being controlled by Moria again. In this round of confrontation, I completely fell into the disadvantage. Moria. It's really not what it used to be. Go away, Yin. Otherwise, if you are killed together, don't blame me. Brachiosaurus Bomb. At some point, Quinn transformed into a huge Brachiosaurus and jumped into the sky, swooping down from the sky. His huge hard head was covered with a layer of jet black armament Haki. This idiot. 0, seeking flowers. Yin looked at Quinn who was swooping down, cursed angrily, and quickly flapped his wings to dodge. On the ground, the direction Quinn was aiming at was his opponent, Killer Bee. Hey! On the head, I won't lose, oi! Killer Bee didn't feel scared at all in the face of Quinn's attack. Instead, he rapped and rapped. He was covered with a coat of leadership, and 2 horns grew out of his head. 8 tails grow out of the back like the tentacles of an octopus. The first 8 knives. Killer Bee jumped on the ground, jumped into the air, and slammed straight at Quinn with his head sideways. Boom! The heads of the 2 collided fiercely, and a violent impact erupted immediately, and circles of white air waves swept around and spread. Black flame. During the stalemate between the 2, Quinn's 2 dragon claws directly turned into giant mechanical arms, from which 2 laser rays were shot at Killer Bee's head. However, under the protection of the tail beast coat, Killer Bee was not harmed. Instead, he manipulated the tail behind him to draw towards Quinn, pulling his huge round body to the ground, smashing the ground into a huge deep hole. 0. Thunder Plow Hot Knife. Killer Bee is full of lightning chakra, jumping down from the air, under the blessing of the tailed beast coat, the speed is extremely fast and the strength is huge. Phew! Killer Bee's elbow hit Quinn's abdomen hard, causing Quinn to burst into tears of pain, and spurted a mouthful of blood from his mouth. The originally collapsed ground sank again, and countless cracks appeared in the surrounding ground instantly, spreading in all directions like a huge spider web. Drink! Armed lateral bolt of pain, chop! Not far from Quinn and Killer Bee, Rinnegan shouted, his body was covered with lightning, his hair stood on end like a hedgehog, he jumped up high, and his right arm condensed the high-level thunder chakra towards Jack the mammoth's long trunk snapped off. Blood splatter! Jack's mammoth trunk is cut off by Rinnegan. Ah! Jack let out a cry of pain, and his body immediately returned to adulthood, clutching his nose and rolling on the ground. Park! Good fight, big brother! Killer Bee gives his step-brother a thumbs up. Well played, brother! Rinnegan also gave him a thumbs up. The 3rd generation, Yin Naraku. Kaido, who was knocked into the air by Luo Xiu, realized that the blue dragon form was not Luo Xiu's opponent, so he changed into a human beast form that is most suitable for Zoan Devil Fruit's ability to fight. Black and red lightning, smashing down on Luo Xiu on Suzanu's head. Conqueror's winding Lushan Chen Glongba. Luo Xiu controls Susanoo, covers Conqueror's haki, diary uppercuts meet Kaido's mace. Boom boom boom. Ka-ka. The violent hurricane swept wildly from the center of the battle between the 2 of them, emitting bursts of terrifying, ear-piercing, and terrifying sonic booms. Black and red lightning kept bursting out around the fist and mace. Alabasta. Charlotte Linlin had seen the power of Luo Xiu's Amaterasu black flame before, so she didn't dare to get close to her. In the distance, Napoleon, holding the Emperor's sword, created a terrifying shock wave, pointing directly at Luo Xiu in Suzanu's head. Chapter 86. Spicy Tiansai. Luo Xiu's eyes turned into 9 Rinnegan, and a burst of powerful repelling force instantly counteracted Charlotte Linlin's attack, crushing it, and rushed towards Charlotte Linlin with undiminished power. Ugh! Mom! Charlotte Linlin only felt that her body was hit hard, and then she flew upside down and out of the hospital. Drink! Luo Xiu let out a low cry, increased the output of Suzanu's power, overwhelmed Kaido in an instant, hammered Kaido into the sky, rushed to the sky, broke through the clouds, and rushed to an altitude of 10,000 meters. Air! Kaido, who was flying at high speed, felt that he couldn't stop at all, and his jaw seemed to be broken. Kaido! Charlotte Linlin saw Kaido being hammered away, and a strong look of dread flashed on the fat cheeks around him, and she felt timid in her heart. Originally, she thought that with the combination of herself and Kaido, even if she lost to Luo Xiu, at least she could remain undefeated. But now it looks like a big mistake. Even if I join forces with Kaido, I'm afraid I won't be this man's opponent. But at this moment, if you want to regret it, it's too late. The battle has already begun, and the only way to end it is to persevere. Tianmen des is a god. Charlotte 930 Special Linlin controls Zeus to release countless lightning bolts to envelop Luo Xiu and bombard him crazily. Crack! Boom! Strips of lightning struck Luo Xiu's Susanoo, emitting wisps of smoke, but they did not bring him much substantial damage. Even if a small crater was occasionally blown out, it was immediately crushed by Luo Xiu. Majestic Chakra gave the fix. Universal Pull. Luo Xiu looked at Charlotte Linlin, grabbed it with his hands, and the body of Charlotte Linlin in the distance immediately flew towards Luo Xiu uncontrollably. Hey! What's going on? Zeus! Stop it! Charlotte Linlin showed panic on her face, and immediately shouted to Zeus at her feet. Mom, I want to stop too, but I can't stop at all. Zeus also looked terrified. Although he tried desperately to fly backwards, he couldn't fly at all, and his body was pulled forward by a huge force. Hateful! Wow lightsaber! In desperation, Charlotte Linlin raised the Napoleon longsword in her hand, gathered the lightning from Zeus's body, entangled with Conqueror's haki, and swung it at Luo Xiu. A white sword energy like a laser pierced Luo Xiu's head. Wei! Luo Xiu didn't rush, one eye turned into Sharingan, and he turned on Kamui to absorb Charlotte Linlin's attack. At this time, Charlotte Linlin was also attracted by Universal Pull's gravity and came to Susanoo. Conqueror's entangling Walleye Fist. A huge mountain-like giant fist wrapped around the terrifying and deep Conqueror's haki hit Charlotte Linlin's head heavily. Pfft! Charlotte Linlin suddenly felt that her brain went blank, her eyeballs turned white, and she almost lost consciousness. She spit out a big mouthful of blood with a wow sound, and her body flew into the distance like a meteor across the sky, smashing a mountain into pieces. Drunken thunder, Yin Ne Luo. At this time, Kaido's body fell from the sky, holding the mace tightly with both hands and raised it high. The Conqueror's haki was wrapped around it, and the thunder and lightning lingered around, smashing down on Luo Xiu's head. Repulsion Overlord Fist. Luo Xiu concentrated the repulsive force on Susanoo's hand and entangled Conqueror's haki at the same time. The power was raised to a new level compared to just now. Boom! The attacks of the two collided with each other. This time there was almost no stalemate. Kaido was crushed instantly, the huge mace in his hand flew out of hand uncontrollably. Susanoo's fist hit him in the chest. Crack! A clear sound of bone cracking sounded, Kaido's sternum shattered and collapsed, and a mouthful of blood spewed out instantly, and the whole body flew into the sky again. Crush! Complete abuse! Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are no match for Luo Xiu. The members of the pirate group under the two men saw their governor and captain being abused, and their hearts were cast a shadow, and they were even a little absent-minded. They were severely injured by the members of the Akatsuki Empire several times. Everyone knows very well in their hearts that the outcome of the battle between the leaders of both sides is the key to the burden of this war. If the leader is defeated, then even if they win their opponents, it is meaningless. He. See, Yin. Am I right? Even if that BD Kaido joins forces with Charlotte Linlin, it's impossible to be His Majesty's opponent. Surrender. Moria let out a triumphant laugh and persuaded Yin to surrender again. Yin looked at the complacent Moria, his teeth itching in anger, but he couldn't refute it, and at the same time, a touch of worry arose in his heart. If this continues, this war may be lost. Katakuri, you are strong. It's really good to be able to develop such a powerful ability from such a weak rice cake fruit. Following that crazy woman has no future, come to our Empire of Dawn. His Majesty the Emperor, he will be the king of the world. After a battle with Katakuri, Enel recognized his strength and talent, hoping to draw him into the camp of the Akatsuki Empire. Do not make jokes. It is impossible for me to betray my mother. Katakuri looked angry, his arm was raised and turned into a machine gun, covered with a layer of dark armament haki. Wushuang Rice Cake Blade Bomb. Da-da-da-da-da. Countless machi bullets covered with armament haki shoot out of it. That crazy woman is so ruthless, I don't know if I will kill you one day, and there is no future for being a pirate. Even if you can escape your life by chance in this war, you still cannot escape the attack of the Akatsuki Empire. There will be no other voices in the new world other than our Akatsuki Empire. Those who follow will prosper, and those who rebel. Katakuri, do you want all your brothers and sisters to be buried with your crazy mother? While avoiding Katakuri's attack, Enel continued to persuade Katakuri. Today's Enel is no longer the supercilious megalomaniac he used to be, and has learned to use his brain. If Katakuri can be persuaded to surrender successfully, that would be great. Even if he can't be persuaded to surrender, it will be more beneficial for the next battle to be able to engage in a wave of his mentality. Enel's words slowed down Katakuri's attack a bit, his brows were tightly frowned, and Enel's words caused some ripples in his heart. Although he didn't care about his own life or death, he cared very much about the life and death of his younger siblings. Compared to that ruthless mother, Katakuri cares more about his younger brothers and sisters. How about it? I'm right. Enel felt Katakuri's weakened attack, and a smile appeared on his face. This guy was obviously moved. Humph. Stop delusional. I can't surrender. Katakuri snorted coldly to restrain himself, but his tone was a little lacking. Well. Don't worry, the battle should be over soon. Let's talk about it later. Should I choose to die with your crazy woman and mother, or follow His Majesty to overthrow the world government and assist His Majesty to achieve supreme hegemony? Enel fought Katakuri without haste. Now the strength of the two of them is roughly equal, it is more difficult to decide the winner in a short time. Air. Kaido turned into a huge blue dragon hovering in the air again, and Charlotte Linlin stepped on Zeus and stood beside him. After some fighting, they didn't cause the slightest damage to Luo Xiu at all. On the other hand, the two of us have been hammered, beaten, and abused all the time. It feels like the strength is not at the same level at all. Although I saw the strength of this man on the live broadcast before, it was only when I fought in person that I could appreciate the true strength of this man. How? Scared? Continue to attack. Luo Xiu stood on top of Suzanu's head, with his hands folded, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, watching Kaido and Charlotte Linlin's timid look, with a playful smile on his face. Hateful. Stop looking down on people. Flame tornado bad wind. Luo Xiu's taunt made Kaido furious instantly, the huge dragon's mouth opened suddenly, and a huge fireball burst out from it, and then countless wind blades and fireballs mixed together in an instant. The wind borrows the fire. Fire helps wind power. Bringing a scorching air wave and a gale that can tear everything apart, it comes to Luo Xiu. A combination of wind and fire. Interesting. Luo Xiu looked at Kaido's attack with a faint smile, and manipulated Susanoo to raise his arm. The endless chakra converged in Susanoo's hand at 3.2 to form a huge raised nan with a diameter of hundreds of meters, and was then injected by Luo Xiu with violent wind chakra and fire chakra. Super Jade Wind Fire Spiral Shuriken. With a low shout, Luo Xiu threw out the huge spiral shuriken in his hand. Boom! Kaido attack is instantly shredded. The wind and fire spiral shuriken rushed towards Kaido, hitting his huge blue dragon body. Ah! The violent wind element raged in his body like a steel needle, causing Kaido's huge body to fall directly to the ground, tumbling, screaming, and howling. The bursting fire element kept burning on his body, exuding the aroma of barbecued meat. Sage Art Maya Jinman. Luo Xiu clapped his hands together, and countless torii gates suddenly appeared in the sky and stuck Kaido's body on the ground, making him frightened. Amaterasu God Flame Monster Power Slash. Susanoo raised the 400-meter-long broadsword high with both hands, the sword god covered the black Amaterasu flames, concentrated the chakra monster power in both hands, and slashed at Kaido's huge blue dragon head. This sword. Luo Xiu, he wants to slay the dragon. Where _? The blade of the sword fell from the sky, expanding in Kaido's pupils. Chapter 87. Kaido looked at the 400-meter-long sword that kept falling, and smelled a smell of death, and his eyes were full of fear. Will die. If this big knife falls, you will really die. In crisis. Kaido immediately released his devil fruit form and returned to his human form, narrowly dodging Luo Xiu's beheading. Crack! The moment Kaido retracted his head, Luo Xiu's slash landed, and a bottomless gully was split on the ground, spreading far away until the end of the island, and even the sea around the island was split open. Hoo! Kaido, who had recovered his human form, was still in shock, panting heavily, looking at the terrifying record on the ground. Really almost died. Linlin, don't hold back anymore, you must use all your strength. Otherwise, I will really die. Kaido came to Charlotte Linlin, his voice was a little terrified. If he hadn't reacted quickly just now, his head would have been cut off. Understood. Charlotte Linlin saw the situation just now, so naturally she didn't dare to be careless. Let's go. Kaido instantly turned into a dragon man, raised the huge mace in his hand, wrapped it around Conqueror's haki, thunder lingered on it, his legs slightly bent, kicked his body on the ground and quickly rushed to Luo Xiu. David Thunder 8 trigrams. Charlotte Linlin on the side followed closely behind, stepping on Zeus, raised the Napoleon sword in her hand and slashed at Luo Xiu. Mother visiting cannon 3,000 miles. The two, one left and one right, attacked Luo Xiu from both sides. Everyone used their greatest strength without reservation. Is this all your strength? That's the end of it. Luo Xiu watched the two attacking with all their strength, with an indifferent expression, put the big knife in Suzanu's hand back into the scabbard, held the handle with one hand and the scabbard with the other, squatted down with both legs, and retreated with the left leg. It is the most basic posture of drawing a knife and chopping. This pose. Cracker, who was fighting against Charlotte Cracker, the 4-star dessert star, immediately exerted strength, and sent Charlotte Cracker flying with a single knife, while a pair of eagle eyes stared at Suzanu. He is so familiar with this action. It was the trick that defeated him in the first place. Could such a huge giant be able to perform such a powerful move? If it is used, how terrifying is the power? The spirit is highly concentrated, and Haki Chakra is highly compressed and converged. Instantly. Long sword unsheathed. Sky Dragon Flash. A sword light that was brighter than the sun almost filled the entire ghost island, and everyone around felt a little stinging in their eyes, so they closed their eyes subconsciously, and used their arms to block in front of them. Laugh. Laugh. The people around only heard the sound of two sharp blades cutting through flesh and blood. Can't resist. In front of Luo Xiu's sword, the weapons of Charlotte Linlin and Kaido were cut off like paper, and the 400-meter sword cut off their bodies without hindrance. How can that be? The consciousness of the two has not completely disappeared. Looking at their severed body, they can't believe their eyes at all. But the gradual loss of consciousness tells them that this is a fact. Thump. Thump. The half-cut bodies of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin fell to the ground, completely lost. Long. The sword light slowly disappeared, and everyone around slowly opened their eyes. Seeing the scene in front of them, their eye sockets instantly widened, and their pupils suddenly contracted. An unspeakable fear spread in the heart, the forehead was sweating like a torrential rain, the body was trembling constantly, and some people's knees softened and they knelt down. Sit down. What did they see? The bodies of the two four emperors, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, were cut in half. Dead, dead. How can that be? The two four emperors were killed by that man. Governor. Mother. Members of the Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates exclaimed in horror, sadness, and shock as they looked at the bodies of the two on the ground. They can't believe it, and they can't believe it. I even thought it was a dream. He. See it, Yin. This is the strength of our emperor. 4 emperors, they can be destroyed with one blow. He is destined to take the throne of this world. Seeing Kaido's body, Moria felt unprecedented joy. Although he didn't kill him himself, he was dead. Looking at Luo Xiu, she was full of endless reverence, the piety of shopping. Kaido. Governor. No. Impossible. It's impossible. Yin shook his head, a little unable to believe the facts in front of him. Accept the truth. Shadow binding. Moria took advantage of Yin's terrified mind and was on the defensive, immediately mobilized shadows from all directions to restrain him, and pressed him firmly to the ground, preventing him from moving. Mom! 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 Katakuri stared blankly at Charlotte Linlin's body, unable to tell what he was feeling in his heart at the moment. But there is a faint feeling of relief. Although everyone in Charlotte's family calls her mother every day, there is not much affection between them, and more fear. Once you don't like it, or when you are angry, your soul will be drawn, your lifespan will be reduced, or even your lifespan will be sacrificed. It's over, Katakuri. Think about your brothers. Should we continue to persevere and be hunted down by our Akatsuki Empire, or join us and follow our great Emperor His Majesty? Enel at the side didn't take advantage of the situation to attack, but took out a red apple and gnawed it slowly. Following that man. Katakuri looked at Luo Xiu with complicated eyes. Kaido, Charlotte Linlin is dead. The descendant will not die. Otherwise, kill without mercy. With the 400-meter broadsword in Luo Xiu's hands, Haki's sharp voice spread throughout the battlefield, making all the pirates fearful and moved. Surrender. I surrender. Don't kill me. Some weak pirates looked at Luo Xiu's domineering figure, immediately dropped their weapons, bowed their heads and surrendered. Even the four emperors were killed by him, so what can they do? I surrender. Surrender. I surrender too. Except for the beasts pirates and some cotters of the Big Mom pirates, most of the pirates chose to surrender. As for revenge? Do not make jokes. Not to mention that they don't have that strength. When did Kaido or Charlotte Linlin care about their lives? Among other things, in this battle alone, Kaido and Big Mom killed many ordinary pirates by mistake. On the other hand, Luo Xiu always protects his soldiers from harm. Comparing the two, there is simply a world of difference. What about you? Surrender? Or die? Luo Xiu looked at Jin and Katakuri, the two emperor's lieutenants. After the deaths of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, these two basically became the talkers of the two major pirate groups. Master Yin. Katakuri Big Brother. The members of the Beasts Pirates looked at Yin, and the members of the Big Mom Pirates looked at Katakuri. I choose surrender. Katakuri looked at the tall man, looked at his younger siblings, and finally chose to surrender. The members of the Charlotte family were relieved when they heard that Katakuri had chosen to submit. They were really afraid that their big brother would be overwhelmed, and they would fight that man to the death. Brother Jin, you can't surrender, you want to avenge the Governor-General. Jack suddenly roared, his noseless face was full of anger, and his eyes were full of hatred towards Luo Xiu. Idiot! When everyone present heard Jack's roar, these two words popped up in their hearts. Dare to take revenge in front of this man. I'm afraid I can't die fast enough. Oh. So it's by the boat King Jack. You are very brave. Luo Xiu looked at Jack, and a famous talk about Jack in the previous anime appeared in his mind. Bring me the boat. This kind of person is simply out of his mind. 060. A whole Luo Xiu, you wait for Lao Zi. One day Lao Zi will be four. Laugh. Before Jack could finish his sentence, his head flew away in an instant, turning into a headless corpse. Who else? Luo Xiu lightly flicked the insignificant blood stained on the 400-meter broadsword, and his scarlet pupils glanced at the pirates on the battlefield. Everyone looked at Jack's headless body, lowered their heads, and knelt down on the ground. They don't want to have their heads chopped off in one go. Oh oh oh! Long live! Long live His Majesty the Emperor! This scene made the soldiers of the Dawn Empire feel extremely honored, and they all raised their weapons and shouted excitedly and frantically. Those pirates who surrendered also shouted along with the soldiers of the Xiaxai Empire, a little trembling in their hearts, for fear of making Luo Xiu dissatisfied, they would be killed directly. Listening to the shouts of the audience, Luo Xiu showed a satisfied smile on his face, raised his arms and lowered them slightly, and the audience fell silent for an instant. It is good. Since you choose to submit, you are my subjects. Now, follow me to Wano Kuni to take it and bring it into the territory of the Akatsuki Empire. Luo Xiu strikes while the iron is hot, ready to take down Wano Kuni in one fell swoop. Oh oh oh! Come on! For His Majesty the Emperor! Everyone rushed to the port, scrambling to jump on the boats, eager to make their way into Wano Kuni. Especially those pirates who have just surrendered to Luo Xiu are full of enthusiasm and want to play their own role, telling Luo Xiu that they are not useless people. Dozens of ships rushed towards Wano Kuni carrying the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire and countless pirates who had just surrendered. In just half a day, Wano Kuni was completely taken down by the Akatsuki Empire. Wano Kuni, who lost the protection of the beast's pirates, was powerless against the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire. The Kurozumi Orokai was directly beheaded by Yin, and he dedicated his head to Luo Xiu to show his loyalty. Wano Kuni was completely destroyed and became the territory of the Akatsuki Empire. Chapter 88. Wano Kuni, the capital of flowers. This place has been completely occupied by the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire. The streets are full of soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire. Many people are hiding at home and dare not come out. The ones who were a little more courageous opened up a little gap to watch the troops patrolling the street. What made them feel a little more at ease was that the soldiers on the street didn't have the slightest intention of entering the houses, which was very different from the pirates they had seen before, who would kill anyone and grab anything they saw. Luo Xiu established many prohibitions when he established the Dawn Empire. Kill the innocent, behead. Robbers of civilians, behead. And robber, behead. These prohibitions made the soldiers under the Xiaxai Empire very strict discipline, and they did not commit any crimes. Everywhere they went, they would be warmly welcomed by the local people. It's just that Wano Kuni is closed to the outside world and doesn't know the news. Luo Xiu is well aware of the importance of people's hearts to an empire. In this era full of exploitation and oppression, as long as you treat the common people a little better, they will be grateful to you and even work hard for you. After Luo Xiu's soldiers cleaned up the remnants of Kurozumi Orokai, Wano Kuni began to gradually settle down. When all the people in Wano Kuni were uneasy, Luo Xiu's voice came from the phone bug broadcasts in various places. Hello, people of Wano Kuni, I am Luo Xiu, Emperor of the Akatsuki Empire. Now, the Admiral of the Beast's Pirates has been beheaded by me, and the Wano Kuni General Kurozumi Orokai has also been eliminated. From today onwards, Wano Kuni officially belongs to the Akatsuki Empire and is renamed the capital of harmony. From now on, slavery will be abolished, and the prisoners and slaves captured by the Kurozumi Orokai and the Beast's Pirates will be liberated. All the people of Wano Kuni will be treated equally and enjoy the same rights as citizens of the Akatsuki Empire. All citizens who have been unfairly treated or persecuted can seek help from the Akatsuki Empire government. Starting today, you are free. Luo Xiu's voice was clearly transmitted to the ears of everyone in Wano Kuni through the broadcast of the phone bug, causing everyone's eyes to widen and their expressions to become shocked, followed by ecstasy. Really? Become free? Aren't we going to be exploited and oppressed by Kurozumi Orokai and Beast's Pirates from now on? Oh oh oh! Thanks to the great Luo Xiu, your majesty! Long live! Long live His Majesty Emperor Luo Xiu! Countless people of Wano Kuni opened their doors and ran to the streets, shouting loudly, jumping, running wildly, and some even rolled on the ground excitedly. Countless people knelt on the ground and worshipped Luo Xiu. No doubt. In their hearts at this moment, Luo Xiu is the hero who liberates them and the god who brings them light. Mr. Denjiro, is this true? Is Wano Kuni really going to be liberated? In a geisha hall, Xiao Ziyi covered her seductive sakura peach mouth, and asked the retainers beside her in disbelief. Maybe it's true. I have heard some news before that the Dawn Empire was established by an extremely powerful man, and he used to be a slave, so he treats civilians and slaves very friendly. But if this man rules Wano Kuni, what will happen when Momonosuke-sama returns in the future? This man was able to kill Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the strength is unbelievable to what extent. At that time, it may be impossible for Momonosuke-sama to take Wano Kuni back from this man. Denjiro has been following Orokai pretending to be a guard, knowing more or less some information, but it is because he knows that he is afraid. If you can't take it back, you can't take it back. As long as the people of Wano Kuni can live happily and happily, that's enough. In Xiaozi's view, it doesn't matter who rules Wano Kuni, the main thing is that the people in this land can live happily. Ugh! I hope so. Denjiro sighed helplessly when he heard the words, and hoped that His Highness Momonosuke would not be impulsive then. This man is absolutely invincible. The battle for Wano Kuni is over, and so is the battle for Alabasta, the capital of the Seven Waters, and the town of Rog. After naval headquarters got the news, they immediately informed them to retreat. After all, they knew that Luo Xiu possessed a space skill that could instantly support the whole world. If he was caught and killed, naval headquarters would suffer a great loss. Green Bull and Aokiji retreated from Alabasta and Seven Water capital with the remaining marines. But Smoker was not so lucky, he was directly captured alive by Kakashi and locked up. The Akatsuki Empire has won a complete victory. After Luo Xiu occupied Wano Kuni, he directly abolished the policy of closing the country, and immediately started the country, encouraged development and encouraged business. Wano Kuni is rich in mineral resources. If it was not closed before, it must be very rich. After occupying Wano Kuni, Luo Xiu immediately sent Katakuri to lead his people to subdue Wano Kuni and bring it into the rule of Akatsuki Empire. Charlotte Linlin is dead, all nations have no leader, and Katakuri, the number 2 figure in the Charlotte family, has easily conquered all nations and brought the sea area he ruled under the Akatsuki Empire. With the annexation of 2 emperors' pirate groups, the power of the Akatsuki Empire has become the largest in the New World. Then Luo Xiu directly notified all the forces in New World to surrender to the Xiaozi Empire within 1 month, otherwise they will send troops to conquer, and New World does not allow other forces. As soon as this news came out, the whole world was in an uproar, shock, and sensation. In the whole world, everyone feels the ambition of Luo Xiu, His Majesty the Emperor of the Dawn Empire. His Majesty Emperor Luo Xiu is simply terrifying. Killed 2 emperors' pirates in a short period of time. That's right, and let the other forces of New World submit. If you don't submit, you will be destroyed. What kind of haki and courage is this? I seem to be joining the Akatsuki Empire, but unfortunately I can't join. When will the Akatsuki Empire be able to capture our kingdom? I heard that the security of the Akatsuki Empire is very high, everyone can live and work in peace and contentment, and don't have to worry about pirate attacks. Happy death. His Majesty Luo Xiu quickly overthrow the world government and rule the world. Everyone in the world looked at the close-up photos of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin's corpses in the newspaper, and their faces were filled with shock. At the same time, they also worshipped and awed Luo Xiu even more, and they were full of yearning for the Empire of Dawn. New World, aboard the Moby DK. The atmosphere was a little dull, and many people had fear on their faces. The Whitebeard pirates naturally also received the news from Luo Xiu. If you don't surrender, you will die. Perhaps. Before the Akatsuki Empire occupied Wano Kuni and destroyed the two royal-level pirate groups, the Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates, they still had the determination to fight to the death. But with the death of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, and the destruction of the two royal-level pirate groups, when everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group received this news, their hearts were all cast in a shadow. If there is a war with the Akatsuki Empire, there will be absolutely no life, and there is absolutely no chance of victory. The Akatsuki Empire without annexing the Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates is enough to destroy the two Emperor-level pirates, and at the same time repel Marine. How powerful is this? Dad, what shall we do? How about, let's make an alliance with the Redheads? Marco spoke in a low voice, with all the dignity in front of his expression, with a little anxiety and uneasiness. Gu la la la. Alliance. Don't be silly, Marco. Do you think our alliance between the Whitebeard Pirates and the Red Hair Pirates is much stronger than the alliance between the Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates? Unstoppable. Whitebeard chuckled, and there was not much worry in his words, because he had already made a decision in his heart. Father, what do you mean? Marco looked up at Whitebeard, already having some guesses in his heart. I've decided to retire. My life has been turbulent and magnificent, crossing the sea, and it can be regarded as forging a legend. Now that I'm older, it's time to enjoy my old age. Marco, you lead your brothers to the Empire of Akatsuki. Your abilities will definitely be reused, and I will return to my hometown, the Sphinx, to spend my old age in peace. Whitebeard glanced at the sons on board and made up his mind. Daddy. When everyone heard that Whitebeard was going to retire, they couldn't help exclaiming. They were a little surprised, but they unconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. They are really afraid that their father Whitebeard would rather die than submit, and lead the Whitebeard pirates to fight the Akatsuki Empire to the death. Gu la 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 la. Don't put on that frustrated face. Your father, I am just retiring, not dying. If you miss your father in the future, you can come to Sphinx. Now is a new era for young people, and there is no boat that can carry me, a person of the old age. Go, sons. Bloom your style in the new era. Whitebeard laughed boldly and loudly encouraged his sons under his command. Father, let's have a party. Think of it as celebrating your retirement and enjoying your old age in peace. Li Zhao's. Marco said with some reluctance, but he also knew in his heart that this was the best choice for the members of the Whitebeard Pirates. Gu la la la. If you want to open it, then open it. Whitebeard readily agreed that after today, it might be more difficult to have a banquet with his sons in the future. Brothers, the party is on. Oh oh oh. The members of the Whitebeard Pirates moved all the fine wine out of the warehouse one after another, the chefs went into the kitchen to cook food, and the whole Whitebeard Pirates entered the final carnival. After a few days, Marco led a group of members of the Whitebeard Pirates to join Luo Xiu in Wano Kuni. For the members of the Whitebeard Pirates who voluntarily surrendered, Luo Xiu naturally warmly welcomed the members of the Whitebeard Pirates into an independent army, named the Whitebeard Legion, led by Marco. This move by Luo Xiu moved Marco and the members of the Whitebeard pirate group. The title of Whitebeard meant a lot to them. As soon as this news came out, the world once again became a sensation. Whitebeard, who once held the title of the world's strongest man, has retired. The members of the Sunbeard Pirates joined the Akatsuki Empire. When everyone in the world saw the information in the newspaper, they couldn't believe their eyes for a while. So strong. Isn't this too exaggerated? Even the Whitebeard Pirates chose to surrender. No one in this world can stop the footsteps of the Empire of Dawn. Chapter 89. With the surrender of the Whitebeard Pirates, the other major forces in the New World have defected and surrendered one after another. Joke. Take the Whitebeard Pirates, the top force in New World, who chose to surrender. Do they have any other choice? Unless you are confident that you can withstand the attack of the Empire of Dawn. Even the alliance of two top forces, the Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates, is no match for the Akatsuki Empire, let alone them? Those who know current affairs are heroes, and anyone with a discerning eye can see that the New World is already under the empire of Akatsuki. If you don't surrender, you will only die. With the passage of time, most of the New World was occupied by the Akatsuki Empire, and a small number of stubborn forces were also wiped out by Luo Xiu's troops. New World Unity. It has done what the world government has not done for hundreds of years. After dominating the New World, Luo Xiu used absolute force to suppress the New World Sea area and issued a kill order to all pirates. Pirates are never allowed in the sea area ruled by the Van Don Empire. If you want to venture out to sea, you can register in the Akatsuki Empire, and as an adventurer, you can go out to sea for adventure, but once you kill innocent people indiscriminately, plunder civilians, and violate the laws of the Akatsuki Empire, you will be defined as a pirate and will be hunted down by the Akatsuki Empire. Facing the thunderous means of the Akatsuki Empire, the pirates in the sea area under its command were hit unprecedentedly. But those with human life on their hands were directly killed on the spot. Only those who did not harm human life and committed relatively minor crimes would be captured alive and have a chance to reform themselves. Under such a tough and severe blow, the pirates under the sea area of Xiaozai Empire almost disappeared, and the life of all citizens was unprecedentedly peaceful. To the opposite. In the sea area ruled by the world government, the number of pirates began to increase rapidly. Those pirates who could not get along in the sea area of the Akatsuki Empire all ran to the sea area ruled by the world government, making countless civilians miserable. There is number 440 damage without comparison. For the common people, the sea area ruled by the world government and the sea area ruled by the Akatsuki Empire is simply the difference between hell and heaven. Countless civilians are full of longing for the empire of Akatsuki, even disregarding the blockade of the world government, taking risks and risking their lives to go to the empire of Akatsuki. The world pattern is changing rapidly. The expansion speed of the Akatsuki Empire has far exceeded the expectations of the world government, and it already has the qualifications to fight against them. A certain sea area in New World. The Red Firth is sailing rapidly at sea, followed by many fleets of the Empire of Akatsuki who are chasing it. Under the massive cleansing of the Akatsuki Empire, there are not many pirate groups in the New World Sea area, and the Red Pirate Group is one of the few remaining pirate groups. How can the sight of the couch allow others to sleep soundly? The Red Hair Pirates did not choose to surrender, and he was still waiting for a certain child of destiny in his heart. How could Luo Xiu tolerate such a powerful force like him wandering wantonly in the New World? Shanks, listen to my advice, this is not the era of pirates. Now, New World is unified, His Majesty's various decrees have been issued, and countless ordinary people can live and work in peace and contentment, and live happily. It's a wonderful time. If the Akatsuki Empire can rule the world, it will be a good thing for the common people of the whole world. Didn't Luo Ji start the Great Pirate Era to shake the foundation of the world government's rule, hoping that someone would stand up to overthrow the world government's rule and bring equality and freedom to everyone in this world? Rayleigh shouted to Shanks from the bow of the Akatsuki Empire. After all, the two were once partners on the same boat, and Rayleigh really didn't want to see Shanks sacrifice his life for nothing because of the persistence in his heart. Perhaps you are right, Mr. Rayleigh. But I still believe that the one who can really liberate the world is the sun god Nika. He is a god in language. Although Luo Xiu is very powerful, he is still immortal. I believe that one day Luffy will be able to grow up and become the one who liberates this world. Shanks is very persistent, and he always believes that Luffy is the one who truly liberates the world. Shanks, since you insist on it, I won't persuade you anymore. But you can't stay in the waters of the Akatsuki Empire. His Majesty has already issued an order to kill pirates. If you continue to stay, there will be countless people chasing you. Your Majesty may even come out personally. I'll remind you today, the next time we meet again, we may be enemies. Seeing that Shanks was determined, Rayleigh stopped persuading him and reminded him for the sake of his former companion on the ship. The redhead waved to Rayleigh without looking back, and led the pirates to leave New World. He knew that, as Rayleigh said, the next time we meet, it might be the enemy. Naval Headquarters. In the meeting room, Sengoku and a group of admirals and vice-admirals were sitting in it one after another, with deep sorrow on their faces. Everyone, according to the observation of the scouting soldiers, the Red Hair pirates have already evacuated from the New World Sea area. Now, the Akatsuki Empire has fully agreed to the New World. That's not good news for us. There are many strong people in the New World, and most of them have joined the Empire of Akatsuki, especially the elites of the Whitebeard Pirates, Beasts Pirates, and Big Mom Pirates. Almost all of them have become members of the Akatsuki Empire. Although I don't want to admit it, our marine is probably no longer the opponent of the Akatsuki Empire. Sengoku's deep voice sounded in the meeting room, his face was gloomy, and his heart was full of deep remorse. Think back then. Garp suggested that he deal with the danger of Luo Xiu first, but he didn't listen. He insisted on publicly executing Fire Fist Ace, destroying the Whitebeard pirates, and letting Marine rule the New World. But this is the biggest wrong decision in my life. Not only did Fire Fist Ace fail to execute the Whitebeard pirates successfully, but he also sacrificed 100,000 Marine elite soldiers, leaving the entire Marine slumped. If he could choose again, he would definitely choose to deal with Luo Xiu without hesitation. But there is no regret medicine in this world. Humph. The Celestial Dragons didn't make it themselves. Those guys are running amok all day long, turning the whole world into a mess. Ordinary people are also human beings, and they also yearn for equality, freedom, and happiness. Garp snorted coldly, expressing his dissatisfaction with Celestial Dragons. If he hadn't dedicated his whole life to Marine and had deep feelings for Marine, he would have quit his job long ago. Hey, Vice Admiral Garp, that's not what you should say. Celestial Dragons are descendants of the Creator, and they are named as gods. What's wrong with being a bit privileged? Those untouchables who rebel against the Celestial Dragons and the world government are heretics and should be killed. Admiral Green Bull heard Garp angrily rebuke Celestial Dragons, and immediately retorted, his words were full of enthusiasm for Celestial Dragons, world government. Obviously. He is a very qualified dog. Oh. A guy with extreme thinking like you is not suitable to join the Marine, it is more appropriate to go to the CP organization of the world government. The old man is ashamed to be with you. Garp looked up at the Green Bull, feeling very sick to his words, got up and left the meeting room. La. Maybe. It's time for the world government to reflect on itself. Aokiji yawned, got up slowly, and left the meeting room. The rest of the people also complained about the Green Bull. Marine has always been synonymous with justice. When did it become like this? The atmosphere in the meeting room became a little weird, and finally broke up. Ugh. 1 or 2, it's really worrying. Sengoku looked at the departing crowd, rubbed his brows, and felt very wishful. Time flies like a white horse. Ever since Luo Xiu dominated New World, there hasn't been any big news. The expansion speed of the Akatsuki Empire is really too fast, many places are only occupied, and the laws and decrees of foreign species have not yet been implemented. So Luo Xiu chose to slow down, settle down, consolidate the rule, and lay the foundation of the empire. Otherwise, when there is a war with the world government in the future, it will be very troublesome if there is a rebellion in the rear. During this period of time, Luo Xiu was rarely at leisure. I just need to grasp the general direction and give some ideas and measures. As for the refinement, I will hand over the implementation to my subordinates. I just need to check the results at any time and go. Anyway, I am Flying Thunder God, so I can reach any place anytime, anywhere. Do you want to obey the yin and the yang? Haha. Learn about the top 10 tortures of the Manchu Qing dynasty. Heavy codes are used in troubled times. Luo Xiu will not have the slightest mercy. Sabayati Archipelago. Luo Xiu took Shirahoji to play in the playground. He had promised Shirahoji would take her on the Sabayati Archipelago, but there was no time. Now that I have a rare leisure time, I have fulfilled my promise. Shirahoji's huge mermaid tail turned into two slender, and beautiful legs. Mermaids can transform their mermaid tails into legs after adulthood, and Shirahoji, who has practiced expansion jutsu, can freely change the size of his body, very convenient. Lord Luo Xiu, the Ferris wheel is so fun. You can see the whole Sabayati archipelago from here, it's beautiful. Shirahoji leaned on the glass of the Ferris wheel, looking excitedly at the view of the Sabayati archipelago below. Today's Sabayati archipelago is more prosperous than before. Because Luo Xiu unified the New World Sea area, it almost became a forbidden area for pirates. Over time, no pirates went to New World, but there were countless adventurers. Compared with pirates with bad character, adventurers are relatively friendly, at least they will not rob or kill at will. So the environment of Sabayati archipelago is relatively harmonious, and after experiencing previous events, it has almost become a forbidden area for celestial dragons. Without the danger, merchants from all over the world will come and go, and they will naturally become extremely prosperous. Looking at Shirahoji's innocent and lovely appearance, Luo Xiu felt very at ease in his heart. In the past 2 years, he was either fighting or on the way of fighting, and he hardly stopped. Although Luo Xiu was extremely powerful, he also felt tired. Shirahoji's innocent and kind appearance is like a cute little angel, which makes people feel relaxed from the bottom of their hearts. Chapter 90. After playing with Shirahoji for a day, I finally fulfilled my promise at the beginning, and it also made Luo Xiu feel happy, and the tight heartstrings were relieved. Subsequently, Luo Xiu led Conan, Hancock, Robin, Vivi, and others to inspect the territory of Rogtown from East Blue Rogtown. However, he concealed his identity, which is equivalent to a private visit in a microservice. Registered as an adventurer as an ordinary civilian and formed an adventure group. He is going to understand the empire he built as a commoner, and only in this way can he understand the real empire. Town of Rog. Luo Xiu, Conan, and Hancock strolled on the bustling street, watching the crowds coming and going on the street. Almost everyone's faces were filled with happy smiles from the heart. Honey, you see how happy the people in Rogtown are. It's a stark difference from the old town of Rog. At that time, although there was marine protection, countless pirates landed every day, attacking civilians, and various underworlds collected protection fees, making countless low-level civilians miserable. At that time, it was rare to see a smile on the faces of ordinary people. Looking at these common people, Robin felt something in his heart. Compared with the scene of prosperity in front of him, there is a world of difference. That is, my dear, but the greatest man in the world. Hancock hugged Luo Xiu's arm, proudly agreed, and looked at Luo Xiu with infinite love in his eyes. There is no greatness, it is just suffering from the bottom. In fact, these ordinary people are very easy to be satisfied. They just want a stable living environment. Luo Xiu shook his head lightly. As a member of the common people, he knew very well what these common people needed. A comfortable living environment, a job that can support the family, no harassment by pirates, no exploitation by nobles, this is what they want. It sounds simple, but in this world, in this era, it is something that countless people can't reach. Let's not talk about that. The clothing store in front looks good, just in time to buy some nice little skirts and new clothes for you. Luo Xiu pointed to a very gorgeous clothing store ahead and said to the girls. Great! Thanks, dear. When the children heard that Luo Xiu was going to buy clothes for them, their faces showed happy expressions. They kissed Luo Xiu's face one after another, and rushed into the clothing store to choose the clothes they liked. Luo Xiu touched his cheek, chuckled, and then walked in. Welcome. Two beautiful welcome ladies greeted Luo Xiu very politely, and looked at Luo Xiu with wonderful eyes. Although Luo Xiu has slightly changed his appearance, he is still handsome, and coupled with his tall and straight figure, the emperor's haki, it is hard not to attract attention. Hi there! Luo Xiu responded politely, showing a sunny smile, which immediately made the cheeks of the two welcoming ladies blush. Honey, how do you look at the paper clothes? Hancock held a purple cheongsam in front of him and gestured, looking forward to Luo Xiu, waiting for his evaluation. Yes, not bad. Hancock, you are tall and have slender thighs, which is very suitable for wearing this style. And purple is more noble, and it can highlight your noble and glamorous temperament. Luo Xiu commented seriously. The cheongsam is very attractive, and it is perfect for a tall woman like Hancock. Awesome! I want this one. Hearing Luo Xiu's comment, Hancock's eyes narrowed into crescent moons, looking very happy. My dear, what about my one? Vivi walked out wearing a snow-white princess dress, with a silver crown accessory on her head, and diamond earrings on her two small pink earlobes. The whole person looks like a princess walking out of a phone call. Nice! Vivi, your vision is really good, this dress is just tailor-made for you. It's like a princess who came out of a fairy tale. So beautiful! Luo Xiu's eyes lit up, and he praised without compromising. As long as my dear likes it, I will buy this push. Being praised by Luo Xiu, looking at Luo Xiu's loving eyes, Vivi's heart is as sweet as honey, and immediately decided to buy this one. Afterwards, other people also bought their favorite clothes. Luo Xiu comments, made them very satisfied. After shopping for clothes, Luo Xiu went to have a big meal with everyone. After walking around for a few times, Luo Xiu didn't encounter any oppression of common people at all. The people in Rogtown are also very friendly and prosperous. After shopping for a few days, Luo Xiu led the crowd out of Rogtown. Luo Xiu traveled all over Alabasta, Sky Island, the capital of Seven Waters, the Fishmen Island, Wano, and so on. Almost everything is developing according to Luo Xiu's wishes. Residents of Sky Island can come down to Qinghai at any time, and residents of Qinghai can also go to Sky Island for tourism at any time, and the same goes for the Fishman Island. No matter whether it is a murloc or a murloc, they no longer need to hide in the seabed of 10,000 meters. They can come to any place ruled by the Xiaozai Empire at any time, no one will discriminate against them, and no one dares to capture them as slaves. According to the laws of the Akatsuki Empire, no matter who they are, anyone who traffics in human beings, whether they are buyers or sellers, will be executed immediately. At the beginning there were people who wanted to seek wealth, but without exception, they were all caught by the Xiaozai Empire and executed by Ling Qi. People who have seen that kind of cruel punishment never dare to think about it again. After a tour, Luo Xiu returned to Dressrosa. Due to the geographical location, Luo Xiu temporarily designated this place as the imperial capital of the Dan Empire. After years of development, Dressrosa has become one of the most prosperous islands in the world. In the palace, Luo Xiu sat on the throne and looked at the situation of the Dan Empire's army. Now the military strength of the Akatsuki Empire is very strong. Luo Xiu divided them into several main armies. The Wind Legion headed by Sunagakur, the Thunder Legion headed by Cloud Shinobi Village, the Water Legion headed by Kirigakur, the Earth Legion headed by Iwagakur, and the Fire Legion headed by Konoha. There are also the Beasts Legion, Desert Legion, and Whitebeard Legion based on the members of Beasts Pirates, Big Mom Pirates, and Whitebeard Pirates. The size of each main army exceeds 100,000 people. It's time to launch a general attack on the world government. Luo Xiu looked at the situation of the army of Xiaozai Empire, and said Nana to himself. Over the years, as he kept signing in, almost all the powerful ninjas had been summoned, and with the addition of the local forces of Pirate World, it was completely worthy of the world government. Celestial dragons, world government, are you ready to feel real pain? Luo Xiu touched his back. There was also the imprint of celestial dragons Tianxiang dragon's hoof. Conan, issue an order to make the major armies of the Akatsuki Empire prepare for battle. Target, Red Line. Luo Xiu told Conan beside him that he couldn't wait to kill all the celestial dragons. Yes, Your Majesty. Conan immediately took the order and went to inform the main army stationed in various places. Soon, Conan conveyed Luo Xiu's order to the main armies, and all the commanders immediately summoned the troops as quickly as possible, and led the Moxia army to the Red Line. With such a huge movement, the world government naturally received the news at the first time. Mariejois, Pangu City. The 5 elders sat together solemnly, and on the table in front of them were photos passed by the intelligence department, densely packed with the large fleet of the Akatsuki Empire. Everyone, it seems that the Akatsuki Empire is going to make a big move. Are they going to attack the Red Line? The blonde-haired 5 elders has a heavy voice, with a hint of unbelievable, unbelievable. How long is this? The Akatsuki Empire is about to launch a general attack on the world government. According to the information, the major armies of the Akatsuki Empire almost came out in full force, and surrounded the Red Line from all directions, intending to capture the Holy Land. Curly-haired 5 elders folded his hands together, propped his chin, and his eyes revealed haze. This situation is already obvious. Go and tell Master Im. Things have gone far beyond our control. The long-haired 5 elders sighed and leaned weakly on the chair. That's the only way. The rest of the people nodded in agreement, and the current gaffe has completely exceeded their expectations. Several people stood up and took a deep breath, and walked to the depths of Pangu City. See Master Im. I already know the matter. Go and gather all the marines to guard the Red Line, and then call in the troops of the allied countries of the world government to let them defend the Holy Land. Just take this opportunity, the Empire of Akatsuki will be destroyed. Back off. Im didn't wait for 5 elders to speak, but gave him instructions. Yes. Master Im. The 5 elders immediately took orders to leave, coming and going in a hurry. Empire of Dawn. You are by no means the one who threatens world government 2.5 the most. You will definitely die at the hand of this king. After the 5 elders left, Im murmured. In front of him was also a reward for Luffy. Obviously. He thinks Luffy is his archenemy. Time passed slowly, the whole world began to become tense, the ships coming and going on the sea became extremely dense, and even the most ordinary civilians could smell the smell of gunpowder smoke. The entire sea is covered with overcast clouds, and there is a suffocating sense of oppression everywhere. About 100 nautical miles away from the Red Line, a gigantic ship with a length of over 1,000 meters is sailing rapidly on the sea. It is the main ship specially built for Luo Xiu by Capital of 7 Waters, the Emperor. It is equipped with the most advanced weapons of the Akatsuki Empire, and its maximum power can even annihilate an island, and its power is no less than that of Pluton. In the rear, followed by tens of thousands of densely packed fleets, which are the main armies under the Xiaozai Empire. The scene was once magnificent. On the other side, Red Line is also preparing for battle with a tight defense. Tens of thousands of warships are scattered around, and various large-caliber cannons are densely placed on the land. Everyone's face is full of tension, apprehension, and uneasiness. The war is about to start. Chapter 91. Come, come. On the Red Line, the soldiers standing on the watchtower saw the tens of thousands of warships led by Luo Xiu, and couldn't help but let out a shocking exclamation. Accompanied by the cries of the scouting soldiers of the world government, the mighty fleet of the Dawn Empire began to slowly catch the eyes of the world government on the Red Line. Gilu. All world government soldiers looked at the fleet that could not be seen at a glance, subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva to relieve the shock in their hearts. Especially the huge battleship in the front that was over a kilometer in length, it simply stunned them. almost caught up with a small island. Attention all troops, prepare to fight. Everyone cheer up, that man has the terrifying ability to destroy the world. Sengoku announced to the whole army with a telephone bug microphone. Even he, facing a battle formation of this level, subconsciously oozes cold sweat from his forehead. It's well prepared. Let's add a few meteorites to add to the fun. Looking at the densely packed world government soldiers on the red line, Luo Xiu raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing a cold smile. Look up to the sky. The eyes turn into the 9-hook jade Rinnegan, attracting thousands of hairs. Several meteorites were pulled out of space by Luo Xiu. Boom 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 dash. The ear-piercing roar came from the sky, causing all the world government soldiers on the Red 10 continent to subconsciously look up at the sky. Everyone's eye sockets are wide open at this moment. Shock. Panic. Some timid people knelt down and sat on the enemy in fright, their bodies were limp and powerless, and their souls were frightened away. This is simply not something that ordinary people can accept. Allah. Although this is not the first time I have seen it, I still feel trembling in my heart. A chill came out of Aokiji's body, and his body had subconsciously turned into elements. Under the bombardment of this meteorite, even elementalization would suffer considerable damage. Is this the power of that man? Simply scary. The green cow looked at the meteorites covering the sky one by one, and his voice trembled involuntarily. The whole army listens to the order and immediately attacks the meteorite in the sky. It must not be allowed to fall. Sengoku didn't hesitate to order. The scene reminded him of the old naval headquarters marine fort. If these meteorites fall to the ground, at least half of the Red Line soldiers will die, and the blow to morale will be fatal. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Bullets from various muskets and artillery shells all hit the meteorites in the sky. Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji, Akainu, and many other strong marines launched their strongest attacks on the meteorite. Under the endless artillery fire, under the attack of many marine powerhouses, the meteorite began to shatter, turning into countless stones. Boom! 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 Countless broken stones fell on the red line. Although the power was not as powerful as that of the whole meteorite, it also caused considerable damage to the soldiers of the world government. Countless people were smashed into meat paste by huge gravel. Numerous artillery pieces and military fortresses were smashed. Although it is miserable, it is much better than the whole meteorite falling down. After all, with the lessons learned from before, Sengoku and the others are already prepared. Good job, then. What about this? Luo Xiu saw that the meteorite was shattered by the world government, and he didn't show any disappointment on his face. This is just a big brother greeting. The world government has mobilized millions of troops, with so many strong men and such intensive firepower, not to mention meteorites, even islands falling from the sky can be smashed. His gaze turned to the ship beneath him. Zhang Yang's 5-clawed golden dragon on the bow holds a giant cannon with a diameter of more than 10 meters. This is the iceberg. Frankie and Orochimaru are designed and modified according to the giant cannon on the Pluton battleship. It is a super weapon powered by chakra. As long as enough chakra is input, one cannon can even destroy an island. The majestic chakra on Luo Xiu rushed towards the cannon crazily, and a white light began to appear at the muzzle. With the input of Luo Xiu chakra, the white light becomes more and more intense. After that, it filled the entire cannon mouth, exuding human power. Boom! The giant cannon's ability to withstand it reached its limit, and it burst out from the barrel, blasting directly at the opposite red line. The sea surface along the way was directly divided into two, and a wide gap appeared, rolling up monstrous waves. Hiss! This, what kind of weapon is this? This terrifying scene made all the soldiers of the world government gasp. They hadn't recovered from the meteorite just now, and they were stunned once again. Everyone is numb. Too fast. It was so fast that it was too late to react. Boom! With a loud noise, a huge crater with a diameter of tens of thousands of meters was blown out on the red line, causing the entire red line to tremble. Countless soldiers of the world government were wiped out by this cannon, without even a scream. This shot. At least tens of thousands of world government soldiers were killed. Oh my god! What weapon is this? Fear. Horrible. Mom, I want to go home. This scene scared countless world government soldiers to the ground. Is this terrifying weapon really something they can fight against? At the top of the red line, I'm sitting on the throne overlooking the entire battlefield. Was shocked when he saw the cannon and stood up from the throne. He couldn't help exclaiming. Pluton! Master is this Pluton? Waiting by the side, the 5 elders, who were like servants, couldn't help asking in unison. They are so familiar with the word Pluton. In order to obtain the Pluton design, they sent elite CP agents to lurk for several years, but they found nothing, and they were all beheaded by Luo Xiu in the end. It looks like the blueprints have fallen into the hands of the Akatsuki Empire. No, like Pluton, but not Pluton, even better than Pluton. Pluton was built in the capital of 7 waters back then, and the warship of Luo Xiu must have been built in the capital of 7 waters, and it even surpassed Pluton. Im's voice was slightly low, and his expression became a little dignified. In addition to Pluton, the Akatsuki Empire has occupied the Fishmen Island, and should have also mastered Poseidon. No wonder they dare to wage war with the world government so recklessly. But in front of Uranus, everything is illusory. I'm looked up at the sky, the last and strongest whole card of the world government is on standby at any time. Counterattack! Counterattack! All sea fleets immediately attack the main ship where Luo Xiu is located, and he must not be allowed to fire that kind of powerful artillery. Sengoku suppressed the shock in his heart and immediately picked up the microphone to direct. This powerful cannon must never be fired a second time. Under Sengoku's order, tens of thousands of warships along the red line moved to surround Luo Xiu's main ship, and adjusted the direction of their artillery to bombard Luo Xiu's main ship. Water Legion, it's time for you to perform. Today's ninja army has been fully formed, fighting on the sea. It is simply the world of water-style ninjas. With Luo Xiu's order, countless soldiers of the Water Legion jumped into the sea and rushed towards the world government fleet from the bottom of the sea. At a distance of about 1 kilometer, they simultaneously activated water style. What is the scene of hundreds of thousands of people using water style in the sea at the same time? The world government fleet will experience it in the next moment. Sea. The sea, which was originally relatively calm, immediately became irritable, and began to become choppy, and the waves surged high. 10 meters, 100 meters, kilometers, 10,000 meters. This height is even higher than the red line. This moment, all the fleets of the world government rushing towards Luo Xiu are all stupid, numb, and dumbfounded. One by one, they looked up at the sky in a daze, their expressions were terrified to the extreme, and their hearts were full of despair. This, what is this? Such a terrifying tsunami. How to hit 350? Aokiji. Please. Seeing such a terrifying tsunami, Sengoku couldn't help but feel his scalp go numb, so he could only pin his hopes on Aokiji. I try my best. Facing such a terrifying huge tsunami, Aokiji has no soldiers to freeze them all. Ice Age. Aokiji's figure disappeared in place, and quickly came to the sky above the sea, and the cold air all over his body burst into ultimate Ice Age. Kika. A tooth-piercing sound sounded, and the huge tsunami was not quickly ended. But the tsunami was so big that before Aokiji could completely freeze them, the tsunami fell. The fleet of the world government was submerged in countless numbers in an instant. Of the tens of thousands of warships, only a few hundred remained, and none survived, all of which were buried in the tsunami. However, the world government is slightly relieved that the tsunami should be Aokiji's front and did not submerge the red line. Otherwise, they will be miserable. Freeze the sea, never let them borrow the power of the sea again. Seeing that the fleet was submerged, Sengoku turned green and immediately yelled at Aokiji to connect him to the sea. When Aokiji landed on the surface of the sea, it immediately froze the sea with a radius of 10,000 meters, and no longer gave Luo Xiu's water army a chance to borrow the power of the sea. But this undoubtedly provided a good foothold for the army of the Akatsuki Empire. All legions obey orders. To overthrow the world government is today. Give me a rush. Luo Xiu's thick, house-like voice spread to all directions and clearly entered the ears of the major legions. The commanders of the major legions led their soldiers to jump off the battleships, stepping on the ice and charging towards the red line. Oh! Come on! Overthrow the world government! For the Empire of Akatsuki! For His Majesty the Emperor! Chapter 92. The soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire, with their morale like a rainbow, howled towards Liu Chang, the Red Earth King, like wild wolves. Among them, a figure rushing to the strongest side is particularly conspicuous. Zhang Yang has long hair, red armor, and a rebellious expression, as if the millions of world government coalition forces on the opposite side are like chickens and dogs. It is one of the two legendary powerhouses in the ninja world, Uchiha Madara. A single person rushing so far ahead, out of touch with the main force. It's courting death. Marine, who rushed to the forefront, saw Uchiha Madara leaving the main force alone, and felt that this was an extremely stupid behavior, preparing to kill him to get a good start. Shave. Armed finger pistol. Die. Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral Deman rushed to the front, with a ferocious smile on his face, quickly dodged in front of Uchiha Madara, covered armament haki with his fingers and stabbed Uchiha Madara's throat. Do you want to dance? Uchiha Madara's scarlet Sharingan stared at Dodman, saw through his attack, and dodged it with a dodge. While dodging, both hands have already formed seals. Fire-style fire dragon technique. Boom! A huge fire dragon instantly submerged Dodman and burned him instantly. The whole person landed on the ground and kept rolling, making screams. Hiss! So strong! He killed a vice admiral instantly. Seeing Dodman being instantly killed by Uchiha Madara, the faces of the surrounding marines suddenly showed a look of panic, and even the charging pace under their feet slowed down a bit. Damn it! Where did this strong man come from again? Sengoku saw Dodman, who was instantly killed in the rear, and an ugly look appeared on his face. According to the information collected over the years, he thought he knew all the powerful people in the Akatsuki Empire very well, but he had never heard of this person. To be able to instantly kill a naval headquarters vice admiral, this strength must be at least admiral level to start. The impact of an admiral level combat power on a war is simply fatal. See soldiers, don't be afraid, keep going. We have no way back. Behind you is the last bastion of this world, guard it to the death. Sengoku saw the world government soldiers whose morale had become a bit low, and immediately spoke loudly to encourage and motivate them. His words still have some effect. After the soldiers of the world government heard this, the fear on their faces subsided a bit, and they summoned up their courage and continued to rush forward. Ha ha ha! Do you want to dance too? When Uchiha Madara saw the world government soldiers rushing forward, not only did he not show the slightest fear on his face, but he laughed wildly excitedly, and rushed towards them with his legs lifted. Fire-style extinguish fire. On the way of running, Uchiha Madara's hands quickly formed seals, his cheeks puffed, and a sea-like flame burst out of his mouth instantly drowning the world government soldiers rushing forward. Ah! Hot hot! Help! Help me! Help me! Help me! There were bursts of screams, wailing, and cries for help from the soldiers of the world government in the huge sea of flames. Uchiha Madara's blow killed at least 1,000 world government soldiers. Luo Xiu from the back looked at Uchihamadara's performance, and there was no surprise on his face. After all, it is the famous Madara Lord. Before time travel, Luo Xiu liked this character very much. Insolent, domineering, full of ambition, the only fly in the ointment is being bullied by others. I didn't expect to become my subordinate today. Bloom your brilliance in this world. Uchihamadara rushed into the world government camp and killed them all. There was no one to stop them, and he blocked the charge of the world government soldiers by himself. Allah! Another unknown super powerhouse. How many powerhouses are hidden in the Empire of Dawn? Aokiji saw the unstoppable Uchihamadara who was killing all directions, murmured, and then flashed to Uchihamadara. Ice Cube 2 thorny spears. 4 icy spears pierced through the crowd towards Uchihamadara. Fire style fire dragon flame bomb. Uchihamadara crushed a world government soldier to death, and immediately spit out a fire dragon, rushed to Aokiji's attack, and melted all the spears. Do you want to dance too? Uchihamadara's scarlet Sharingan glared at Aokiji, eyes full of pride. What a scary guy! Aokiji looked at Uchihamadara, who was besieged by many world government soldiers, and was able to defuse his own attack with ease, with a serious expression on his face. See the power of God! Drink! Uchihamadara gave a cold drink, and instantly summoned Susanoo. Although it's not as scary as Luo Xiu's thousands of meters, but it's also like the devil Aussie who has reached the level of 500 or 600 meters. This power! Aokiji's pupil shrank, he was so familiar with this kind of giant. In the Battle of Marineford, Kong, the commander-in-chief of the world government, died at the hands of this giant. Although this person's strength is not as good as that man's, it still gives people a deep sense of oppression. Yasaka Tama. Uchihamadara controls Susanoo, with a wave of both hands, several chakra energy balls rush towards Aokiji, the energy contained in them makes Aokiji change color, and immediately dodges away. Boom! The moment Aokiji left, several huge deep pits were blown out of the ground where he was, even the frozen ice of Aokiji was blown through, exposing seawater dozens of meters below. Fire-style huge fire extinction. Uchihamadara's Sharingan caught Aokiji and fired fire-style at him. The huge fireball envelopes it instantly like a blazing sun. What a quick response! Aokiji burst out with cold air and wrapped himself up to resist the terrifying heat. Ha ha ha! Motor! You're still so pushy! A burst of hearty laughter rang in Uchihamadara's ears, and the same man in red armor rushed to the world government camp. It's Uchihamadara's best friend, Senju Hashirama. He stands on top of a giant wooden golem and comes to Uchihamadara. The armor of the two is almost the same, it looks a bit like a couple outfit. Hashi hot mom, you are so slow. Uchihamadara said arrogantly. Never mind. It's a rare opportunity to fight side by side, let's rush together and see who can reach the top of the red line first. Say it. Senju Hashirama controlled the wooden giant and began to run. Its huge size made it impossible for ordinary world government soldiers to stop it. Hateful. Hasi mother, you crafty family. Uchihamadara looked at Senju Hashirama, who was not talking about martial arts, and was the first to charge, cursed angrily, and also manipulated Susanoo to catch up. But there's an Aokiji behind him. Ice ball. Several ice balls made of condensed cold air smashed towards Uchihamadara on Susanoo's head, and the cold air turned the water droplets in the air into ice crystals. Troublesome guy. Fire-style dragon flame singing technique. Uchihamadara looked at Senju Hashirama in the distance, with a flash of anger on his face, and spit out several fire dragons from his mouth, rushing towards Aokiji's attack. The ice and fire collided in the air, producing a burst of hot and steaming water vapor. Uchihamadara threw Susanoo's huge fist at Aokiji. Boom! Aokiji's body instantly turned into elements, and was blown away by Susanoo's powerful force, turning into an ice furnace. Haxi hot mom, don't try to win me. Destroying Aokiji, Uchiha Madara immediately manipulated Susanoo to chase Senju Hashirama. He wants to be strong in his life, but he doesn't want to lose to Senju Hashirama. Ha ha ha. Moda, you can't catch up with me. Senju Hashirama controlled the wooden giant and slapped dozens of world government soldiers flying away. He glanced back at Uchiha Madara and showed a grimace. How can it be repaired? Just wait for me, I'll overtake you in no time. Uchiha Madara looked at Senju Hashirama's grimace and smile, and suddenly felt angry inside. The wings on Susanoo's back flapped suddenly, and her huge body flew into the air, quickly chasing Senju Hashirama. The powerful seal blows countless world government soldiers away. Your opponent is me. Ice Cube Razor Pheasant. Aokiji recondensed into a human form. Seeing that Uchiha Madara was about to leave, he was naturally unwilling. The cold air on his body exploded and condensed into a huge ice bird, which flapped its wings and attacked Uchiha Madara in the air. Damn it! It's you again. Since that's the case, the only way to kill you is to kill you first. When Uchiha Madara saw Aokiji come out again to prevent her from catching up with her good friend, she became furious and turned to Aokiji. Susanoo stretched her hands back and pulled out the two long chakra knives on her back. With two swipes, the huge ice bird released by Aokiji was chopped into pieces. Armed two swords thunderbolt slash. After chopping Aokiji's ice bird, Uchiha Madara didn't stop, swung her wings suddenly, and her huge body went straight to Aokiji. The two huge chakra-long knives were covered with a layer of dark armament haki, and they struck Aokiji like lightning. So fast! Laugh! Although Aokiji has been elementalized at the fastest speed, his body is still handsome. Wood-style flower tree world is coming. When Uchiha Madara and Aokiji were fighting, Senju Hashirama had already rushed to the red line, clapped his hands, and countless towering trees appeared on the ground instantly, covering a radius of several kilometers. Countless world government soldiers covered their mouths and noses, foamed at the mouth and passed out. This trick! The green cow in the distance saw the familiar wooden golem in this huge forest, and couldn't help but think of the little princess girl he met in Alabasta before. Exactly the same. It's just that the power of this man's tricks is much stronger than that of the little princess girl. Is it her master? Then let me experience your strength. Chapter 93. The figure of the green bull disappeared in a flash, and the whole person rushed towards Senju Hashirama. Armed and abominable. When he came to Senju Hashirama, the arms of the green bull instantly grew countless towering trees, turned into huge fists, covered with dark and thick armament haki, and hammered at Senju Hashirama. Hey! Is this the ability of devil fruit? Pretty good. Senju Hashirama was immediately interested when he saw the dense fruit of the green cow. Under the control of Senju Hashirama, the trees in the surrounding flower and tree world are drawn to the green cow one after another, and each tree vine is thicker than the waist of an adult. Looking down from the sky, the green cow seems to be surrounded by a sea of green trees. Hateful! This amount! So strong! Facing Senju Hashirama's attack, Liu Sheng had to temporarily turn the fist that was hammering at Senju Hashirama to the trees that were pumping towards him. Pa pa pa! There are trees in all directions, continuous and endless, and the green cows smashed one batch and then another batch. Wooden golem armed strange power fist. Senju Hashirama's combat experience is very strong and rich. He seized a flaw in the green bull and controlled the huge wooden golem to swing his fist at the back of the green bull. The original green fist became as black as ink, shining with bright metallic luster. Boom! Tired of dealing with the forest vines, the green bull had no time to defend, and was bombarded on the lower back by wooden golem's huge fist, and the whole person flew upside down in an instant, hitting the ground and smashing into a big ball. It really hurts enough. The green bull crawled out of the deep pit on the ground, rubbed his lower back, and felt a burning pain. He felt that the power of the man in front of him was completely different from the little princess girl he had met before. But I am Marine Admiral too. Armed Sen's gun. Although Senju Hashirama is strong, 357 Green Bull is not willing to admit defeat. His hands turned into trees and sharp spears, covered with dark armament haki. SHHHHHH_W. A long spear covered with armament haki flew out from the Green Bull's arm and stabbed at Senju Hashirama, forming a dense spear face. Nice attack. But not strong enough. Wood-style wood expulsion jutsu. Senju Hashirama clapped his hands, and a huge wooden ghost mask shield appeared in front of him, blocking all the Green Bull's attacks. What a strong defense! Seeing that his attack did not cause the slightest damage to Senju Hashirama's shield at all, the Green Bull couldn't help but let out an exclamation. This is much harder than the wood made by yourself. Try this trick. Armed Forest's giant fist. The Green Bull raised its arms, growing countless towering trees, condensed a huge fist, covered armament haki and blasted towards Senju Hashirama. But before the Green Bull's fist reached Senju Hashirama's side, it was entangled by the surrounding vines, unable to move forward half a point. Wood-style wood dragon technique. Senju Hashirama clapped his hands, and a 100-meter-long wooden dragon flew out in an instant, straight at the Green Bull, entangled his body, and opened its mouth to bite his head. Damn it! This ability again! Both stamina and haki are draining fast. Feeling the rapidly disappearing haki and physical strength in his body, the Green Bull couldn't help cursing. Next moment, Senju Hashirama controlled Wooden Golem's giant fist and hammered the Green Bull's head hard. Armed Power Fist. A huge fist hit the Green Bull's face, causing his 5 organs to deform instantly, and several teeth were hammered off mixed with blood and water spurting out of the mouth. Before the Green Bull could react from the powerful impact, Senju Hashirama slammed another fist on the other side of the Green Bull's face. Puff! Another mouthful of blood spurted out. Next. Boom bang bang bang! The wooden giant's fists rained down on the Green Bull's head non-stop, leaving the Green Bull with no chance to breathe. Hiss! So strong! Where did this werewolf come from? Can you hit Marine Admiral? The surrounding world government soldiers were petrified when they saw this scene, they couldn't believe their eyes. Green Bull is Admiral of Headquarters. Represents the highest combat power of the world government. This moment. To be beaten on the ground with no power to fight back, it was terrifying. Hey, I can't let you fight like this, Marine Admiral is the face of the world government. 8-foot Kyan Guyu. Kizaru, who was not far away, couldn't stand it any longer, jumped into the air, crossed his hands, and sent out countless dense light bombs to bombard the Senju cylinder. Yellow Monkey, your opponent is me. This time, we must decide the outcome. 100 million volts super electromagnetic gun. When Enel saw Kizaru make a move, he immediately attacked him. He raised his hand and saw a 100 million volt super electromagnetic gun, full of power. Very scary. Facing Enel's attack, Kizaru had to suspend the attack in his hand and dodge it elementally. A 100 megavolt railgun is no joke. Even if he is elemental, if he is hit, he will be injured. Armed Torin gun. The land around Senju Hashirama burst out countless earthy spears, the blades of which were covered with black armament haki, stabbing Senju Hashirama's head. It was another Admiral of Headquarters T. Dolphin who made the move. Logia Dodo Fruit ability user. The strength is also not to be underestimated. In order to avoid the attack of the T. Dolphin, Senju Hashirama had to give up beating the Green Bull in front of him and control Wooden Golem to jump up and retreat. Wood-style Laughing Buddha Jutsu. Senju Hashirama did not forget to launch an attack in the direction of the T. Dolphin while avoiding the ground. Huge palms appeared around the T. Dolphin, each of them was more than 10 meters tall, and they were all covered with armament haki. The T-dolphin immediately manipulated the surrounding soil to form a circular huge and deep wall to envelop itself. Boom! Boom! Huge palms kept slapping the earth wall made by the T-dolphins, making loud noises. Under the bombardment again and again, a crack appeared in the earth wall, and then more, and finally collapsed suddenly. However, the T-dolphin has long since disappeared. Seeing that the situation was not good, he directly elementalized into the ground and escaped. Dawn Empire guys, give me all to die. Meteor volcano. Akainu stood up and raised his fist and turned into lava to hit the sky, and then turned into magma fists to hit the soldiers of Xiaozai Empire behind him. However, the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire are not afraid at all. Numerous ninjas of Grandmaster Water Style stepped forward and cast Water Style towards the sky. Water Style Water Shock Wave. Numerous Water Style ninjas cast Water Style at the same time, forming a huge waterfall, swallowing Akainu's attack completely, and extinguishing all the hot magma, leaving only a few small stones falling down. Tailed Beast Bomb. In order to contain Akainu's attack, Four Tails Jinkriki launched a powerful tailed beast bomb directly at Akainu. Boom! Akainu's entire body was instantly blown into magma, which splashed in all directions, affecting many soldiers of the world government around him, and they were so hot that they screamed. Some people were even burned to death. After a few breaths, Akainu's figure slowly emerged from the magma, with a smear of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, Old Z's tailed beast bomb did a lot of damage to him. Great eruption. Akainu raised his hand to wipe away the blood from his mouth, raised his fist and turned it into magma and blasted towards Lao Zi. Lao Zi did not dare to show weakness, and directly turned on the lava style mode. The tail beast's chakra was continuously provided to him, and he raised his fist and blasted out an attack, shooting out a burst of hot magma, like an erupting volcano. Volcanic eruptions. Boom! The attacks of the two collided in the air, a violent explosion occurred, and hot magma splashed everywhere, making the ground sizzling. All the soldiers around were scared away from the two of them. If these hot magma splashed on his body accidentally, he would be disabled even if he didn't die. Legion of Thunder. Come on for me. Strive to be the first to attack Pangu city of Mariejois for me. Lateral bolt of pain, chop. Rakage turned on the lightning-style chakra mode, hacked to death a naval headquarters rear admiral standing in front of him with one move, and loudly encouraged the soldiers of the Thunder Legion under his command. His personality is very irritable, and he also likes to be competitive. I can't pretend I didn't hear that. The first is our Fire Legions. Come on me. Tsunade punched Marine next to him and said unwillingly. Wind style practice empty bullets. Legion of the Wind, charge along the path I opened up. While Rakage and Tsunade are fighting each other, Gaara has already begun to clear the way for the Wind Legion under his command, so that they can charge faster. Kazekage, you cunning fellow. Dust escape boundary stripping technique. People of the Earth Legion don't lag behind. In order to compete for the first place, Akino also became cruel, and directly sacrificed Chen Dun to open the way for the members of the Earth Legion under his command. Fire Dragon Emperor. Machi Bomb. Phoenix Seal. Yin, Katakuri, and Marco are not to be outdone, leading the Beasts Legion, Sweets Legion, and Whitebeard Legion to attack Pangu City at the top of the Red Line. Almost all the legions of the Akatsuki Empire rushed to the Red Line, one by one scrambling to charge to Pangu City, where the power of the world government is located. Everyone wants to compete for the first place, come out on top. As far as the current situation is concerned, the high-end combat power on the Dawn Empire's side is obviously more than that on the world government's side, and the world government's side is losing ground. I'm sat on the throne overlooking the situation on the battlefield. His brows were slightly frowned, and he was very dissatisfied with the situation on the battlefield. Let the Night of God go out. Chapter 94. In order to turn the tide of the battle, I'm directly dispatched his Knights of the Guardian God. Every member of the Knights of God is very powerful in battle, the last one is the Naval Headquarters Rear Admiral level, there are many Vice Admiral levels, and there are several Admiral levels. Master Im, please rest assured. We will strangle our enemies to death. The leader of the Knight of the Gods knelt down on one knee and assured him loudly, his figure was full of confidence. Go. Im nodded, he still knows the strength of his own knight who guards God very well. Obey. The Knights of God got on their horses one after another, picked up the night guns in their hands, and charged down from the top of the red line. Boom! The Knights of God charged forward, very powerful, the auras of the members were almost connected together, and everything that stood in front of them seemed to be torn apart. Everywhere it went, the ground was trampled to pieces. Boom boom boom! The Knight of the Gods rushed into the battlefield, and all the soldiers of the Dawn Empire army were rushed away, causing death. It was very miserable. Unstoppable. Is Im's God's Knight? Luo Xiu stood at the back, looking at the unstoppable God Knight, his eyes narrowed slightly. The comics he saw before crossing only mentioned a single stroke, and he didn't know its specific combat power. But to be able to serve as the personal guard of Im, the king of the world and the real ruler of the world government, the fighting power must be very strong. In that case, let's give you a surprise. Go. The corners of Luo Xiu's mouth raised slightly, his arms waved lightly, and two huge figures rushed out from behind Luo Xiu. One's body swelled in an instant, turning into a green dragon soaring into the sky, and headed for Lu Chang, the big red land. The other stepped on a thunder cloud, holding a sharp sword, also rushed to the Red 10 continent. The two came to Red Line, raised the weapons in their hands, and waved them fiercely at Red Line. Overlord! A horrific shock wave went straight to the world government soldiers on the Red Line. Ah! Countless soldiers of the world government were blown away, killed, and annihilated, screaming and wailing. Kaido! Charlotte Linlin! How can that be? These two people were killed by Luo Xiu. Sengoku, Garp, 5 elders and other world government executives and soldiers looked at the two figures in the sky and couldn't believe their own eyes. According to their information, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin have already been killed by Luo Xiu. The body was cut in two. How is it possible to be alive? Go! Kaido, Charlotte Linlin, Tianji God's Rider. With a big wave of Luo Xiu's hand, the two of them immediately obeyed the order. How strong can the 4 emperors of impure world reincarnation be? Very exciting. The third generation, Yin Naraku. Kaido turned into a dragon man, raised the mace in his hand, jumped high, entangled with Conqueror's haki, and smashed down on the God Knight. Al Buffwaguo. Not to be outdone, Charlotte Linlin stepped out of the signature stunt of the giants against the Knight of God. Defense. Facing the attacks of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the leader of the Knights of God immediately stopped his charge and launched a defensive formation. Boom! The attack of the two bombarded the defensive formation of the Knight of God, making a loud noise that shook the sky, and a violent hurricane was rolled up, blowing all the surrounding soldiers away. So strong! It's not Moria's zombies. It's the real strength of the two of them. Sengoku had an ugly look on his face when he saw the power of the two's attacks. At first, he thought that Moria used her shadow fruit to make Duo and Charlotte Linlin into zombies. But now it seems that it is not at all. Damn! What the hell does this happen? No matter how hard Sengoku thinks about it, Luo Xiu has mastered the art that can bring the dead back to life. The charge of the gods was blocked by Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, and they fought with the Knights of the Gods. The two of them played desperately and would not defend at all. Even if the body is injured, it will heal immediately. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin in Impure World Reincarnation are completely immortal. Oh! This state is really strong. David roar 8 trigrams. Kaido looked up to the sky and laughed loudly, raised the giant mace in his hand, knocked a god knight to death with one stick, and directly turned him into a headless corpse. What the hell does this happen? Why Kaido they are wounded without blood? Why do they heal immediately after being injured? Sengoku is numb. I don't understand it at all, so I feel a deep fear in my heart. How to fight the immortal four emperors? Master, I'm this. The blonde-haired five elders looked at the Knight of God who was stopped on the battlefield below. His voice was a little trembling, with a little fear. The state of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin completely exceeded their expectations. I'm watching this scene also frowned and remained silent. Obviously. He also couldn't explain how it all happened. You guys go too. Seeing that all his knights who guarded God were blocked by the Empire of Akatsuki, I'm sent out 5 elders, the last fighting force around him. Obey, Master I'm. Naturally, the 5 elders did not dare to disobey Im's order, and rushed into the battlefield one after another. Although 5 elders is the highest person in power in the world government on the surface, they are not the kind of officials who have no strength. On the contrary, their strength is very strong. Everyone has the strength of admiral level. Oh who! Even the 5 elders have been sent to the field. It seems that the combat power of the world government is like this. Luo Xiu looked at the 5 elders who were going off the field, and couldn't help showing a disdainful smile on his face. The 5 elders were all sent off by Im, which means that the world government has no one to use. With the addition of 5 elders, the situation on the world government side has eased a little, but only eased. This aspect of the Akatsuki Empire still has an advantage. Under the strong attack of the soldiers of the Dawn Empire, the soldiers of the world government kept retreating. Im, who overlooked the battlefield, frowned more and more as the soldiers of the world government kept retreating. Finally, can't sit still. Stand up slowly, ready to shoot yourself. Finger pistol. I'm flexing his fingers, a shock wave like laser light was emitted, instantly piercing through countless soldiers of the Empire of Dawn, and finally hit the ground, sending out a violent explosion. As the founder of Marine 6 Styles, M6 Styles have already reached the state of perfection and back to basics. Even the simplest moves contain great power. 0. Seeking flowers. Haha. Finally can't help it. When Luo Xiu saw I'm making a move, a stern smile appeared on his face, and a black space wormhole appeared in front of him, and he raised his leg and walked in. When Luo Xiu's figure appeared again, he had already arrived at the top of the red line, opposite to I'm not far away. You really have mastered the space-time technique. Seeing Luo Xiu who appeared suddenly, I'm didn't have much surprise on his expression. According to the intelligence of the world government, it has been known for a long time that Luo Xiu is capable of long-distance space travel. I'm the supreme ruler of the world government. I've heard about it for a long time. Luo Xiu cupped his hands slightly, with a faint smile on his face. Today you must die. In the prophecy, the opponent of the world government is not you. I'm said confidently, looking at Luo Xiu without much fear. Hehe, the opponent in the prophecy. Nica, the sun god. Never mind. Anyway, I'm here today to destroy the world government. Luo Xiu looked at him swearing, and found it a little funny. At this moment, he still believes in some prophecies. 0. Could it be that the current Akatsuki Empire is not as good as a little pirate who has yet to stand up? Arrogance. Finger pistol. When I'm heard Luo Xiu's wild words of destroying the world government, he immediately looked angry and raised his hand to attack Luo Xiu. Kamui. The Sharingan in Luo Xiu's pupils turned, and a space vortex appeared in front of him, directly absorbing Im's attack. Yachigami Sky Strike. The majestic chakra in Luo Xiu's body gathered on the palm of his hand, and he swung forward, forming countless huge chakra fists in the air. Amazing power. Earth-shaking. Iron body. Im's eyes froze, and the muscles of his whole body immediately tensed up to defend. Although Im's iron body has been cultivated to ultimate, it is obvious that Luo Xiu's Ya Shishinkong calendar is even better. Accompanied by the huge chakra fists bombarding Im's body, his whole body was bombarded with powerful force and kept retreating. Bursts of blue smoke came out of his body, and traces of blood overflowed from the corners of his mouth. Shave! Yim seized a gap, and immediately dodged to leave the spot, distanced himself from Luo Xiu. Tempest kick! Im jumped into the air, swiped his right leg in the void, and a blue air blade with a length of 100 meters appeared out of thin air, slashing towards Luo Xiu. Kill the ashes together! Luo Xiu didn't dodge or dodge, and issued 2 bone spears from his palm, stabbing at Im. Come across the blue air blade along the way, just break it down, hollow. What ability is this? Immediately moved his body to avoid Luo Xiu's attack. This grey bone spear made him feel a strong threat. 6 King's Spear Destruction Cannon. Im clasped his hands together, and a terrifying shock burst out from his palms and rushed towards Luo Xiu. Just the aftermath plowed a wide and deep gully on the ground. Truth-seeking ball. Facing Im's attack, Luo Xiu threw out a long black stick and kept spinning in front of him, blocking all of Im's attacks. Swell the truth-seeking ball. Blocking Im's attack, Luo Xiu instantly turned the truth-seeking ball stick into a prototype, and then kept inputting chakra to make it expand, turning into a huge black ball with a diameter of more than 10 meters. Go! With a low voice, Luo Xiu threw the huge truth-seeking ball at Im, and the terrifying energy emitted from it caused Im's complexion to change wildly, and his body kept retreating. Chapter 95. Boom! The moment the inflated truth-seeking ball hit the ground, a violent explosion occurred instantly, a huge mushroom cloud steamed up, and a terrifying wave of air scattered in all directions. The whole red line is shaking. This moment, the eyes of almost everyone on the battlefield were attracted, staring blankly at the huge mushroom cloud at the top of the red line. A fear from the soul made them tremble all over. Shock. Panic. My mind was shocked. What a powerful attack is this? Long. The smoke, dust, and air waves dissipated slowly, and everyone looked around, and their pupils shrank involuntarily in shock. Looking around, according to their visual inspection, the top of the red line has been cut off by at least 100 meters. Hiss! Thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but gasp. One blow actually cut the world's hardest red line hundreds of meters above sea level. Simply scary. Im's figure appeared from the dust, the whole person looked very embarrassed, a picture was a little tattered, blood was hanging from the corner of the mouth, and there was still a trace of horror on the face, and I was lucky. Thanks for flashing fast. Otherwise, it's over. This kind of attack is simply terrifying. Im looked back at the top of the mountain, the huge Pangu city disappeared under Luo Xiu's blow just now. All living beings living in it are annihilated. Almost all the celestial dragons were almost wiped out by his blow. Im looked at Luo Xiu angrily, this is the symbol of world government one country. It was so ruined? Unforgivable. Shave. Im came to Luo Xiu almost in an instant, raised his fist and hammered Luo Xiu's cheek, the power contained in it caused slight ripples in the space, cracks appearing like broken glass. A seemingly ordinary punch actually contains the power to destroy the world. Luo Xiu raised his arm to block Im's punch, feeling a huge force, his whole body flew backwards uncontrollably. I'm bullying himself. The body jumped into the air, raised its right leg high, and kicked Luo Xiu hard. Hirazaka. A space black hole instantly appeared under Luo Xiu, and the whole person disappeared in the black hole, dodging Im's attack. Silver Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. The figure of Luo Xiu appeared in the air. He pointed his right hand at Im, and released a dozen truth-seeking balls. The surface was covered with a layer of green chakra, which spun continuously, forming a violent tornado that swept Im get involved. Howling wind. The truth-seeking ball was mixed in, which made him miserable, feeling that his body was completely out of control, being pulled, torn, unable to break free, and could only wrap his arms in front of his body, curled up like a dog. Minimize your damage. Finally, the Yinlun reincarnation explosion's attack ended, and Im's figure fell to the ground in embarrassment. Scars all over the face, body, everywhere. Hateful. It's so weird. Such a powerful ability. Im felt very aggrieved and helpless, as if he was no opponent at all. I cultivated to the ultimate physique, the loss I created, the ultimate haki, everything is so useless in front of this man. It seems that the combat power is not in the same dimension. It seems. Only use it. Im glanced at Luo Xiu, then at the sky, and decided to use the last trump card of the world government Uranus. 6 Styles Divine Light Penetration Cannon. Im's body was slightly bent, his hands clasped together, all the power, armament haki, conqueror's haki were all concentrated in his hands, and gathered into a shock wave of terrifying and powerful power, blasting towards Luo Xiu. Kika. This blow that gathered Im's whole body strength directly shattered the space, and black cracks appeared one after another. Truth-seeking ball barrier. Luo Xiu didn't panic, and waved the truth-seeking ball to form a huge barrier in front of him, blocking all of Im's attacks. At this time, Im saw Luo Xiu who was fully defending against his attack, and there was a sinister smile on his face. Boom! Crack! A gigantic beam of light with a diameter of more than 100 meters descended from the sky, illuminating the sky and blinding the eyes of countless people. On the red line, soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire or the world government can feel the terrifying power contained in this beam of light. Many weaker people were so frightened that they collapsed to the ground, pouring out shit and urine. Even the top powerhouses like Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji, Kizaru, Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, etc. felt trembling and panic. Ha ha ha. Ended. The outcome is decided. Master Im has used Uranus. No one in this world can withstand this blow. Luo Xiu must die. 5 elders looked up to the sky and laughed wildly when they saw this huge beam of light. The dawn of victory appeared on their faces. As Im's most loyal servants, the 5 of them naturally knew what this beam of light represented. Represents victory. Fart. His Majesty the Emperor is invincible. Victory must belong to the Akatsuki Empire. Long live! Long live His Majesty the Emperor! The Commander-in-Chief of the Dawn Empire, the soldiers will naturally not believe the 5 elders' nonsense, they have strong confidence in Luo Xiu, and they worship blindly. Especially those summoned ninja powerhouses have no doubts about Luo Xiu's power. Is this the biggest trump card of the world government, Uranus? Haha. But that's all. Luo Xiu looked up at the sky and saw Uranus launched from space, with a disdainful smile on his face. Arrogance. Obliterate under the attack of Uranus. Im Quan pretended that Luo Xiu was pretending before death, and didn't care about Luo Xiu's words at all, looking at him as if he was looking at a dead person. Ah! You know nothing about power. Look carefully. Your so-called whole card is not worth mentioning in front of me. The green truth-seeking ball released from Luo Xiu's hand instantly transformed into a huge golden chakra sword, slashing fiercely at Uranus' attack. Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. Boom! The terrifying golden chakra sword directly pierced and split the attack from the sky, and charged into the sky with undiminished power, directly splitting Uranus in 2. Now, the whole world has turned into gold, and there is only color left in everyone's eyes. Jaw-dropping. Stunned. The smile of 5 elders froze instantly. Im's eyeballs almost flew out of their sockets, he couldn't believe his eyes. Uranus' attack was broken. Even the Uranus in the sky was cut in half. How is this possible? How could this world have such terrifying power? Uranus. That's it. Luo Xiu shook his hand and looked at Im with a look of disdain. Impossible! 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 Im murmured incessantly, his mind completely broken down. The power Luo Xiu displayed has completely surpassed his cognition, as if he is not inferior to this world at all. Nima. Can a person perform an attack that rushes into space? Nothing is impossible. What you think is impossible is because you are too weak. The high-end combat power of the Hokage world completely crushes the pirate world, and a violent star combat power appears. The destruction of an island in the pirate world is already considered the pinnacle of this world. There is no comparison at all. Impossible. Isn't that what the prophecy said? How could the world government be destroyed by you? If I can't lose, I won't lose. Im's expression gradually turned ferocious, and he rushed towards Luo Xiu like a lunatic, punching Luo Xiu punch after punch, but he couldn't hit a single punch. His stage has collapsed. Ended. Truth-seeking ball light cannon. Luo Xiu jumped into the air with a dodge, and released countless truth-seeking balls in front of his palms. The surface was covered with a layer of golden Tensagan chakra, blasting towards Im like a laser rain. Boom boom boom. The dense truth-seeking ball light cannons make it impossible for Im to dodge. The powerful and terrifying truth-seeking ball coupled with Luo Xiu Tensagan is enough to cut through Uranus chakra and make Im defenseless at all. His body was pierced, and he was directly shot into a hornet's nest. I'm staring blankly at his body that had been shot into a hornet's nest, feeling the rapidly passing vitality. His eyes were full of incredulity. I was really killed? Impossible. 3 words came out of Im's mouth with difficulty, and then he fell down straight and completely lost his vitality. Master Im. The 5 elders cried out in terror when they saw Im killed. Died. How could it be possible to die? Lord Im is invincible. Listen, all soldiers of the world government, I'm dead, unholy. If there is any resistance, shoot and kill. Luo Xiu carried Im's body and flew into the sky. The sound spread throughout the battlefield, instantly attracting everyone's attention. The soldiers of the world government are all in mourning, completely losing their fighting spirit. Luo Xiu's terrifying blow to split the sky and Uranus just now was still deeply engraved in their minds. Just thinking about it makes people feel terrified and frightened. It's hard to imagine what kind of consequences this kind of attack will have on people. I'm afraid there won't even be scum left. Surrender! 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 Long live the Empire of Akatsuki! Long live His Majesty the Emperor! All the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire shouted in unison, and the sound shook the sky, making the already very timid world government soldiers even more frightened and panicked. Many people kneeled down immediately when their knees softened. Many of them were forcibly recruited by the world government, and there are not many of them in terms of loyalty. Everything is just for my own life. No surrender. I don't allow it. Celestial dragons are supreme. When the green bull saw someone surrendering, he immediately stood up and yelled, intending to kill those who surrendered. But before he could make a move, Luo Xiu made the first move. Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. Luo Xiu raised his palm, and the golden sword flashed, splitting the green bull in half, and splitting the entire red line in 2. Hiss! Everyone couldn't help but gasp at this scene. I am Nima. This. Go ahead, the red line is split. Who else? Luo Xiu overlooked the battlefield, and his voice reached everyone's ears. Who else? Who dares to resist? No one dares to resist. Surrender, surrender. World government has been defeated. Sengoku said with a trembling voice, although he was very unwilling in his heart, but it is the truth. With the news of the Sengoku 5.6 business, the last bit of resistance from the soldiers of the world government disappeared completely, and they knelt down and surrendered. Oh! Victory! When the soldiers of the world government put down their weapons and crouched down to surrender, all the soldiers of the Akatsuki Empire gave out cheers of victory. World government perish! The Akatsuki Empire has become the well-deserved hegemony of the world. Afterwards, Luo Xiu directly summoned Morgans, and directly held a worldwide press conference in the Red King continent. People of the world, as you can see, I am on the red line. Now that the world government has been wiped out by our empire of Akatsuki, I would like to inform the whole world that all kingdoms will submit letters of surrender to the empire of Akatsuki within 1 month to express their surrender. If you don't surrender within the time limit, the army of the Akatsuki Empire will march to the kingdom of Er. All at your own risk. After all, Luo Xiu directly turned off the live broadcast. The opportunity, I have already given it, it is their regiment who can't grasp it. As soon as the news of the demise of the world government came out, the whole world was in an uproar. Some are terrified, but more people are excited. Because all these years, the world knows what kind of empire the Akatsuki Empire is. The rule of law, freedom and equality are many times better than the rule of the world government. As time goes by, most of the kingdoms in the world have submitted letters of surrender to the Akatsuki Empire, and the few stubborn ones have also been recovered by Luo Xiu's fleet. This sea is ruled by the Akatsuki Empire. Luo Xiu deservedly became the king of this world.